Oh, it's showtime, huh? Friday night flights? Hmm, sounds good to me. Got a good slate of guests lined up. We're gonna have some fun, man. We're gonna have some nice combo. But before we get to it, you know how I do it, man. Gotta rock with some music, set the scene, get it right. And since we dealing with chocolate conservatives tonight, and what the hell it mean to be a chocolate conservative? Well, I feel like we gonna drop some chocolate conservative music. So it's my dog, man, Bryson Gray. This is new. I honestly I just heard this song. This song came out 4 months ago, and I just heard it tonight. So, amen. New music, Bryson Gray. Let's go. What I got to do.
It's like you can't tell the truth these days. Same slave, just a different noose these days. Sell your soul for a chain and a coupe these days. I mean, what am I supposed to do these days? Isn't it obvious they got an agenda? And whoever go against it, they try to censor. All the media join forces to go against you. They all control and they want your soul. But wait, your album usually sell, but this time it ain't. Next your accounts are getting closed by all the banks. You try to fight the ones that control.
This, man, it's gonna be good.
But we know Satan gon' make war on all the saints. What to do when they don't let you in the party? You can go on all the shows and tell them sorry. I mean, we all ain't billionaires, are we? I guess I'll start promoting sex like I'm Cardi. I guess I'll start talking about killing my own. Murder somebody, brag about the drill in my song. But it's modern music, right? So all the feeling is gone. That's why these rappers hooked on drugs and feeling alone. Let's go. I put my armor on. I know it won't be long until they want me. Sorry.
Man, ain't gonna be long.
They don't wanna let me in the conversation. I'm not somebody that can control with a pavement. I just say what's on my mind, how they face been. You won't hear me on these radio stations. I guess they never played my song. I was of the world, but I've been away too long. They want me dead, tell them not to wait too long. They try to stop the rain, but the wave too strong. I put my armor on. I know it won't be long until they want me. Sorry.
Ain't gonna be long, man. Ain't gonna be long at all. Why? Cause man, this shit is hitting the fan. God dang, this shit hitting the fan. What up, folk, man? Your boy Protocol checking in the building. You know how it go down every Friday night flights, man. We have good conversations, man. We get out here, man. We just take our flights. You know, I don't know what your particular jet is, but you know, I do my thing and I get right before the show and we come talk, man. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the Rumble, Facebook. You kind of get this late. Sorry, that's the way Zuckerberg gets down with this. But I promise you, if you subscribe to YouTube and subscribe to Rumble, you'll be on point. I assure you that. Oh man, so tonight we're talking about what it means to be chocolate and conservative. And man, I'm just gonna hit the horn because it gets real when you are chocolate and conservative, man. I'm telling you, family don't want to talk to you, your friends stop talking to you. Except as of recently. Now you're kind of superstars. So at least I know I'm kind of something like a superstar. And I know that my folk that I got lined up coming on here tonight with me, there's some superstars as well in their families and in their circles, because as far as I know of, we've all been making this journey for a while, pre-Trump, during Trump, post-Trump. We've been out here and we've been getting some hellified BS. but it's all right because we stood tall, and now we're on the other side of this foolishness, and the people see what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and start bringing in a few of my folk because I see a couple of them in the back room just chilling, man. I see Sis back there, that smile percolating. Bros, I don't know where he at. He was here, but I'll bring him up when he come back to the screen. But up first, I'm gonna go ahead and because ladies first. One minute, yeah, okay, cool. Ladies first, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in the phenomenally awesome Miss P. Ray Easley, aka P Ray the boss, because man, listen, she a boss. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? She be doing the thing. She's a investing consultant up there in Chicago, man. She be moving money. And when I say she be moving money, I ain't gonna put all her business out here, but sis be doing the thing up there in Chicago the right way. We know how Chicago get down with y'all and y'all corruption, but she does it the right way. So man, sis be holding down. She's also the host of the Black Excellence Hour on, let me get this right, WVON, WVON, 1690 AM in the Windy City, Chi-Town, Chirac, all that good stuff, man. Y'all give it up for my girl, P. Ray, who is in
Hey, y'all. Good evening.
Give your round of applause. Yeah. What's up, sis?
Hey, honey. How you feeling?
Awesome.
Thank you for inviting me on tonight.
Absolutely. And I got to return the favor. I got to come on over there. Had some family issues, but I'm coming.
I told you, come up here. Like, everything you hear about Chicago and Chirac is true. Okay, it's 100% true.
Okay.
But we have a good time. We Southern people up here. So it's a country good time and an urban city.
Absolutely. Well, I'm coming. I got a brother who's there, and hopefully he's watching tonight. And I've told him to check you out. So he probably has in his little shadows of being a Batman type guy. And, yeah, man. He seems to like it. He's gotten with some cool people. So if that was it, then
we're a friendly city. It's friendly until it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it under wraps that I'm from Savannah though, because y'all kind of got it out for Savannah right now.
Why? What y'all do?
It wasn't necessarily it's just that somebody thought it was sweet, and then it wasn't. And then one of the best rappers, I guess, to come out of Chicago in recent times is no longer with us because of some Savannah people.
Oh, nope. We don't even think that deep into it up here.
Oh, okay. At least I'm glad y'all don't. Because listen, there was some little youngins that came down here and was filming videos, and yeah, Savannah, we went. So I be watching the kids, and
we're talking about grown folks' business today.
Right. But you know what? Guess what?
What?
One of the main things in our grown folk business we got to do is we got to get a hold of them babies. Because listen, man, we letting them run them up, and we could talk about that today within the conversation, because there are some narratives and things that is put on us as chocolate folk. That as chocolate conservatives, we get asked the questions when we're in the rooms, and they think we have all the answers, and we don't have all the answers, but we have enough of them. But there are things that we know we need to tackle as far as why homes are separated, or what we can do to make homes kind of whole even while separated. Because I tell them often, y'all is the kings and queens of divorces. Don't come to me about no dang on
family structure.
Come on now. So
no, we ain't studying them people.
Nah, we ain't. But people like me and you and our brothers who will be on here tonight, we deal with them. I was elected third vice chair of my county party. So, I'm sitting on the executive board and have to have a lot of conversation with them. Oh, there you go. The man right here. Let me know when you're ready. I see you situating the camera. Just give me a thumbs up when you're good to go. Yeah, we're typically in the room and around these people, and they like to ask and feel some type of way, and maybe they're not comfortable with approaching us because they don't know.
No, they know. I think that we give people too much ignorance credit. People know exactly what they're doing when they're doing it.
Okay.
And people make the choices that they want to make. People live the lives that they want to live. I live in Chicago. I live in Chirac proper. Okay, when you see Chirac on TV, That's where I live. Okay, 60651, the west side of Chicago.
She in there.
Uh-huh.
She in there.
Yeah, I'm in this. Okay, I'm here. Okay. But with all of that being said, because I live over here, and I am a professional, I'm a finance professional, I'm a radio host, I'm an international educator. I got a whole bunch of different hats that I wear when I'm in this space, even though I live in Chirac. And when people put it out there to me, well, you don't understand and you don't get it and all kind of stuff. At the end of the day, we had 12 years of free schooling in the United States of America. Okay, there's a school in every single neighborhood, and if you chose not to go to that school, if you chose not to, as my grandma say, go get your lesson and come on home, you can't be mad at 35. You can't be mad at 40 at the people who did go get their lesson and came on home. So we as a people have to start really pushing our people to take school seriously. It ain't on the teacher. It ain't on the kids picking on you. We don't care about your gym shoes being dirty and your feelings being hurt. No, go get your lesson and come on home. And now we can see the evidence behind that, right? People like, oh man, you got it. Woo, woo, woo. Joe, I got a finance degree. You know what I'm saying? From 05 to 09, when y'all was out here chasing vice lords around the west side of Chicago trying to get some hand gym shoe money, I was going to school.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I went to class. Right. And so now that the hair and gym shoe money phase is over in your life, you didn't build nothing to stand on top of that with. And so for me, the space that I'm in right now, I love all of my people, but right now I'm encouraging everybody else to do it. You must vet and exclude. That must be your social way of moving around now, and you can vet and exclude based on whatever you want. Whatever you want to vet and exclude upon. That can be, for instance, I try to stay away from people who cuss their kids out, right? So if I hear you calling your baby all type of stupid MFers and smacking them and hitting them and pushing them, I don't want you around me, and I'm gonna tell you while we together, hey, you making me uncomfortable treating that baby like that. Or I don't want somebody that's gonna be around me gang banging all day. Yeah, Joe, we gonna go down and these are ops and da 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 da. My man, you 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to be talking about something way different than going out here gang banging and playing around. You see what I'm saying? So for me, you got to vet people. You got to vet them at every single level, because what we also have to realize is that we as a community of chocolate people, of the freedmen, ADOS, FBA, whatever we calling ourselves now, we are dealing with the real residue of the crack era.
Yes.
Period. Okay. And everybody keeps on ignoring the fact that we are dealing with the residue of the crack era. So even if your people were not tooting up rocks, you had friends who had parents who tooted up rocks. You had friends who were coming to school pissy and dirty and hungry and, disrupting the learning environment, right? Because their parents had these addictions, and nobody ever addressed the children who were born with this substance in their system. Nobody addressed their developmental delays. Nobody addressed their social delays. And now we got a whole bunch of grown people out here, and we have no elders because the baby boomers were the crackheads, right? So even if you were getting high, let's say you got high from 90 to 03, right? And then you got clean in 04, won the lottery in 05, you got a big old house in the boat now, okay? For the people who knew you from 90 to 03, all they gonna say is you a crackhead. I remember you stole grandma VCR. How you gonna tell me who is you to tell me anything? How you gonna tell me
put a pin right there? Put a pin right there, because I gotta bring, because I want bruh to get in on this conversation, man. My dog sitting back there. I got to bring in. This is a dear friend of mine. My brother is the general manager of I'll call them short-term accommodation properties. Okay. My man has been in the hospitality field for years, worked his way up to GM. Do you understand? Worked his way up to GM. He's from right here, the streets of Savannah. You know what I'm saying? He graduated from that other school over there on the east side. But it's all right though, because it's all Savannah love. You know what I'm saying? My dog, man, Mr. Leonard Massey is in the building. What's up with you, bros?
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm sorry. my I'm doing this from my phone because I'm home, and I was double doing daddy duties right now. So I apologize about the camera, and I'm on my phone, but I'm happy to be here with you. I know that you've been going hard, putting the pedal to the metal, talking about Black conservative principles, really just conservative principles, but how it applies to the Black community. So I'm always here and prepared for that conversation.
Absolutely, bros. Appreciate you, man. This is my dog, my fellow Chatham County Republican conservative fighter. The room normally isn't too brown, so we be holding it down,
Yeah. At our convention a couple Saturdays ago, it was maybe 4?
It was 4 of us.
4 out of 100 and out of 250 people. But it takes that step. Like you just can't give up on something just because you may not feel comfortable. So I'll just tell you, I don't know if Ben told you a little bit, like my journey within the Republican Party here in Chatham County started in 2016. I started volunteering at the headquarters when Trump was running. So as you can imagine, that was a time. There was some people that used to ride by our headquarters just to shoot us birdies and get out the car and yell at us, hop back in and ride off. And we were just like, well, I guess that's just the state of the political atmosphere right now. But, it gave you tough skin because it's already hard being a Black conservative, but then pretty much coming out the closet in the Trump era put extra fuel to the fire. So my family already knew I was leaning that way. Like my mom, my sisters, we're all pretty conservative people, but the greater family, they're pretty much all Democrats, and they're prominent Democrats here in Chatham County. Like my aunt is here on the city council as an alderwoman at large, and she has always been active in the community. So as soon as I would, come around the house and everything, the first question you would get, you voting for Trump? And then you have to, instead of you having a conversation about policy, you're just having a conversation about a person. And my whole deal when I'm speaking about conservative and Republican principles, to people that come from a community as mine, I'm like, principles and policies are not one person related. It transcends just that one person. I'm like, if these are my principles, I'm not going to give up on my principles just because, the quote unquote standard bearer for the party right now may be someone that you find detestable or deplorable, to use a word from the left, right? So I'm like, these principles that I have, they were not principles that came out of nowhere. And when I explained it to my family, I'm like, these are the things that you actually taught me growing up. Like you taught me to be self-sufficient. You taught me to have self-determination. You taught me to put a arm in a fence around my community. And I said, the way you make our community strong is, well, the stronger our community is going to be, is the less dependent we have to be on the government. And when you explain that to them in layman's terms, they're like, yeah, of course I don't want to have to be dependent on, an outside bureaucracy for the security of my family. Of course I don't have to, want to depend on this agency to provide, fundamental security for my family. I'm like, okay, well then how do we overcome that? What principles do we need in order to make that happen? Because we all know the system that we're currently in is not going to last forever. So if you're a community or a constituency that's dependent on the system more heavily than another constituency or community, when that system falls, you're going to be hurt the most. So real Black empowerment is actually getting off of the system. And there's different ways to do it, but the end goal should be self-reliance. And when you break it down and have a real conversation about policy and about where we're headed or where we are as a community, that's when you start to make inroads with people. But you have to show up in those places where you're not necessarily comfortable in order to have that dialogue and that conversation. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm voting. Yeah, go ahead.
that's something major that I definitely want us to get into, because we all, again, you're the outgoing, you're the most recent chairman of the Chatham County Republican Party outside of who we just elected, right? So you just finished up your term as chairman. P. Ray, that's your Donnie. You know what I'm saying?
That's my Donnie all day, baby. And I'm talking about him on Chicago Black Radio.
Right.
So for WVON, just to give you guys some history of our station, the call letters WVON stand for Voice of the Negro. Okay, this is how we started out in the 1960s. The reason that WVON was created was to give Black Chicago a space to hear Black music. At the time, Chicago was the headquarters of Black America. In my opinion, it still is. But they needed a station. So Motown cut a deal with WVON to release their singles here in Chicago first. So we're the station that crowned Aretha Franklin the Queen of Soul. If you watch the Aretha Franklin movie, they show the white man doing it. No, it was Black folks on the south side of Chicago. We also, so from there, we gained a really large population in the music, or reputation in the music scene. Johnny Taylor is the first Black man to go on $1 million tour that was promoted through WVON. Okay, Disco Lady Tour was a WVON production, and that was at the time the largest Black tour ever. With all of that being said, we switched from a music format to a talk format, and so now we are the pulse of Black political thought throughout the country, because we're the only Black talk station on iHeartRadio. So this is how Barack Obama, who I call Black Jesus on the show, this is how Black Jesus got his legitimacy, because he started to host the morning show on WVON. The people got to know him and like him, and then that elevated him to the top. Jesse Jackson has a show on WVON. Louis Farrakhan is on WVON all the time. I talked to my congressman. He and I are very close. Leonard, just like you, I was very entrenched into the Democratic Party here in Chicago. My first job ever was working for Barack Obama as his intern when he was an Illinois senator, and Mrs. Obama hooked that up for me at a dinner. Okay, so like that's my world. That was who I am. And so they always make jokes to say, we raised you for Donald Trump to come and steal you away. The white man stole you from us. But I'm like, if y'all had been on y'all jobs, the white man couldn't have came and got me. So I say all that to say, with my show, with Black Excellence Hour, I'm the only right-wing conservative show on the station, okay? So all day you have all of this liberal Democratic propaganda, people lying, people trying to trick people, all kind of things. And the way that my show is successful is because we focused on high self-esteem. Black Excellence Hour is a show for people with high self-esteem, and we focus on the greatness of our people, the greatness of the freedmen, because a lot of times when conservatives come to talk to Black people, they want to tell us what's wrong with us, right? Like, we don't know. So, they want to talk about we don't have families, we ain't got no money, the school's failing, the baby's out of control, all kind of stuff. Yes, we know, we live here. We don't need some political banner to come and expose all of our secrets to the world. We don't need anybody to say the emperor does not have on any clothes. We can feel the breeze, okay? Instead, what you have to start doing is empowering people's patriotic esteem. It is not as American as apple pie. It is American as sweet potato pie. Because sweet potato pie is an American pie that is created by the freedmen, and we are one of two groups of the non-immigrant class, us and the natives, right? That's it. Yeah. So because we are not immigrants and this is our land, we got to start telling people everything from sea to shining sea is for you and you first. You better go get you a gun because you're an American. Your people picked a lot of cotton for you to shoot. You better go to school and get the best job you can get because your people picked a lot of cotton for you to be able to get jobs. You live where you want to live. You eat where you want to live. If you want to have a gun in your video, go ahead. Because as long as it's legal and you're not shooting it, you're not breaking any laws. Absolutely. So we have to raise our patriotic esteem. And once we do that, we'll feel better in our neighborhoods and then they'll heal themselves. But our self-esteem as a people is so broken right now. And I think, honestly, that Black conservatives do a lot to harm our self-esteem. They get in front of white folks. They talking crazy about us. Y'all know how it goes. I don't even have to get into it. Right. But we have to silence that voice. okay? Because this is why people think that we are groups of coons, right? They're like, oh, you a black Republican? Like one alderman here in Chicago, I went on the Nation of Islam's show. Oh, well, it's not the Nation of Islam. It's called the Center for the Remembrance of Elijah Muhammad.
Okay.
And so I went on their show and I ran into a Chicago alderman here. And she said, weren't you on the Nation of Islam show? I said, or Crow, that's what it's called. I said, yeah, I was on the Crow show. She said, you know what made me like you? I said, what's that? She said, when you said, I'm a conservative, but I'm not like Candace Owens. I was like, my girl.
Right.
Yes, that's what we need. And this is a woman who is a progressive alderman, a hard left alderman. But my message is resonating with her and everybody else on the left because they say that I'm speaking to their self-esteem. I make them feel good when they listening to me. I start my show with Lift Every Voice and Sing. Black people stand up. This is our country, right? If you do that, that's how you get the people involved. That's how you get the people wanting to do it. You got to give them hope and you got to stop telling them that they're nothing because that's a lie. That is a lie from the pit of hell. And like I said, once you start just making people feel better about themselves. On the 4th of July, matter of fact, on Juneteenth, we handed out American flags on Juneteenth because we American citizens. Yeah, red, green, and black, that's cool. But we celebrating an American holiday for the freedmen. Start letting people feel good about having their flags, feel good about being in a country. I had a Trump sign in my yard right here in Chirac that said, thank you, Mr. President. You're doing a great job. Nobody bothered my house. Nobody threw a rock, flicked a pebble, nothing at me because they understand that patriotic message because we are the proud children of Mississippi cotton pickers on the west side of Chicago. We're proud of that. That's not shameful for us. That's hard work. That's money, baby. So that's what we have to start doing on our people, and then our movement gonna grow.
Absolutely. And they got to stop doing stupid stuff like, hey, we need to stop wearing cotton because that's not doing anything but upholding the status of white supremacy. Like, man, if you don't shut up, boy, this cotton feel good. Like, I like my cotton shirt from Walmart. Boy, you tripping.
Yeah, but they're ignorant, right? These are not well-read people. These are not well-educated people. These are not people who get money on a regular basis, right? Somebody's paying them to come to our community with these very harmful messages. Like, I'll give you all an example. Last night I went to a pro-life dinner that was very well attended by Chicago elite, very, very elite people here in Chicago. And so I was at the table and I was speaking to a former state senator and he said to me, so how do you feel about reparations? I said, cut that check, baby. He said, well, I'm an Irishman and we had our problem. I said, you got to take that up with the crown. That don't have anything to do with what I'm talking about, because even if we say slavery, okay, you all gave us the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment for slavery, fine. And not you all, because your people weren't here when we were doing that. But when they gave it to us.
Some of them were.
No, I'm talking about this man in particular, because he's just a second generation American. I'm an eighth generation American. Right, so this not your business, right?
This ain't your business, right? Right.
So I'm telling him, I'm like, so even if we let them just have it for slavery, we want to be paid for the state-sponsored terrorism called Jim Crow. Okay, we assassinated Saddam Hussein on international TV. We hung that man for state-sponsored terrorism. We went to war in Bosnia and Kosovo for state-sponsored terrorism. So if it's a big enough crime to send the American military to fix it, then why wouldn't the American government pay money to their own citizens that were harmed by the same action?
Absolutely.
Once you put it out there to them like that, they're like, oh, well, I just think my money shouldn't be. Then go home. If you don't want to pay for it, go home. I told them,
the money printing already going crazy. So shit, let them print us a check.
But what I told them is that you guys never have this pushback when we gave Ukraine $100 billion. We give Israel hundreds of billions of dollars. Y'all don't have nothing to say about that. You all don't get in the Choctaw business. Y'all don't get in the Cherokee business. Y'all don't get in the Sioux business, but y'all want to stay in the freedmen business. So we asking you to stay out of our family discussion, because you guys call him Uncle Sam, but for us, that's Papa Sam. Okay, we got that man blood in our veins. So when we talking to our daddy about family business, you shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Or and if you can't be quiet, then we ask you to go home, because we were wrestling with this issue with Papa Sam when your people showed here hungry on our shores to eat a piece of our sweet potato pie.
Man, I can't do nothing but
Yeah, but in all honesty, I find that I'll be honest. Like I'm a conservative because I have these principles. I'm not a conservative because of the Republican Party did such a good job of reaching out to Black people. You know, so there's a lot of people who say they're Republicans and wrap themselves in conservatism, but really don't have the best motives or interests in fixing the Black community. You know, it's like they give it a good lip service. And this is a part of the conversations that I've had with other Republicans just in this area. You know, so I'm like, if you really want to make a difference, like half the job is showing up. So like, it's no reason where we can't go into a heavily Democratic or, you know, district or in reference like protocols district 5. You know, we wanted to make that a focus here in Chatham County. And when I first got here in 2016, when I started to actually identify as a Republican, I raised the question like, hey, why don't we, show up in these areas? And one of the people on the board just told me flat out that it's a waste of time. They said, we only got 8 votes in that district. I'm like, if that's your mindset, I'm like, okay, well, can we go and try to get 100 votes this time? Or maybe can we get 1,000 votes? I mean, we're losing 5,000 votes to 8 right now. And that's because we don't even show up, So I'm like, in a countywide election, if you're able to increase, the turnout a few hundred in every different, district, that's the difference between winning or losing a countywide election when it comes to, sheriff, when it comes to Chatham County chairman and these type of district attorney. These are very close races in Chatham County. So until Republicans start to, in all honesty, value the Black vote as much as Black conservatives say that they should, we're not going to make progress on that front electorally. So part of my job is to be the change that I want to see in the world, right? So I'm like, I don't need, a party or this group of people to come with me. I'll just go myself. So a part of my job now of being the immediate past chairman is getting with protocol, getting with another guy that's our district two chairman. His name David Tootle, getting with a lot of people that have fire for seeing the Black community reach its potential. And I'm like, it's going to have to start with us. So until we start, like, to your point, preaching a message of high self-esteem and us valuing ourselves enough to put our money and our resources where our mouth is, and not just money and resources, but your time, energy, and effort, because we can't just, money is a big part of it, but we can't just throw money at the problem. We actually have to get out there and do the work, do some sweat equity, so when we get out there and actually go do door-to-door knocking, or throw an event inside the neighborhood and actually just show the neighborhood that you actually care about it in a real way, and not just show up every 2 to 4 years during election time, we'll start making progress. So that's one of my goals, is just to saturate our community as much as I physically can, and bring everybody who wants to go on the ride for the ride with me. Because even if they don't vote, because it's not, to me, of course, I'm in the political space, so I want the votes to happen a certain way. But in all honesty, I just want to change in the community. Like, if you still voted Democratic, but we did have that self-esteem, as you're saying, if we did take education more seriously, if we did, pass down the proper values from mom and dad to child right now, that'll be a lasting change right there in our communities, whether you vote Democrat or not. So it's not all about the vote to me, even though I think the Republican Party has the best principles for a prosperous Black community right now. It's really a secondary issue. It's really the values in our community has to really, really change than what it has been, post, you want to say what, 1975, 1980, because there was
crack epidemic. And that's why I say we got to grant our people grace. We
Mm.
must grant our people grace because we have overcome something really terrible. I don't know how it was down in Savannah, but baby,
Oh,
the
baby,
crack era up here in Chicago.
we had Ricky
The,
Jimmy's, baby.
Yeah,
right, wait,
they had
yeah,
a
Lord,
documentary on them.
you see what I'm saying? So we got to give our people grace, but at the same time, we also have to understand that the Republican Party underwent the Lily White movement,
They
which
did.
means that they very strategically removed us from the party because the party is the party of the freedmen. The party is the
Yeah,
party of the abolitionists. The party was created to protect our constitutional rights, the freedmen's constitutional rights. However, we allowed these racists to hijack our party through the Lily White movement. And so we have a lot of Black Republicans who just want to be in the Republican Party just so they can be up under white folks, right?
Right.
And they can be validated by white folks, and they can tell people, I know such and such, and they said this to me, and blah 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 blah. Like this weekend, they're having the Black Conservative Summit here in Chicago, and I'm not going. I'm not going. And everybody keeps saying, P. Ray, why aren't you going? I'm like, well, number one, the man who's throwing this, it's called Ways to Improve Black America, or How to Improve Black America, the Black Conservative Summit. Number one, they got a white man that's giving the speech. He ain't got nothing to say to us about how to improve ourselves. Number two, I told you guys about WVON. They did not advertise at all on WVON. So if you didn't advertise on WVON and you're not talking to the Black political base, but you're promoting this as a conservative event, then who are you about to talk about Black people to? And what are y'all about to talk about? Because you're not talking to Black folks. You only advertised on the white stations, which now will give white people an opportunity to come before a Black audience and hear Black people talk disparagingly about Black folks to justify how these people already feel about Black people. That's our problem, y'all. That is our main problem right now in the Black conservative movement and the Black Republican movement. We got too many people that are kissing up and showing out for white folks because they got low, piss poor self-esteem.
Yep.
Piss poor self-esteem. When we got these Black folks who go before these white leaders in the party and say, don't give them reparations. Well, reparations was a tenet of the party, okay? Yep. They've been talking about since the foundation, and this is when I talk to Republicans, and they're like, "I'm not for reparations," and you in the wrong party, buddy.
You know what the funny thing is? You know what the funny thing is? 4-5. Yeah,
baby.
Hey, this is my favorite drop right here.
47. Oh, I'm gonna start playing it on my show. I love
it. He missed the 45-47. Okay, he's starting to use the word reparations.
Yes,
he is saying now, and I was talking to bros about this. Now he hasn't particularly said it about us yet, right? I think he will, but he's working the understanding of what the hell reparations actually is to those people who are normally against it, right? First time he did it was to the people of J6 and the Proud Boys and everybody who's just being completely done wrong by the United States government and how they're treating them and the persecution that they're putting them through. And he was like, I would say they probably deserve some reparations for the way that this government is treating its own people. Really? And what are Black folks saying? And then he turned around and he mentions China, and now he got reparations from China for the farmers and the way that they were planting those seeds. So when we come forward and we say, well, hey, it's a tenet of the party, and let's look at what Jim Crow actually did to us, and this was state sponsored, and the American government just let it go and didn't do anything about it. Oh shit. Damn, you right. Oh man. All right, cool. And Mr. First, second generation American, appreciate you for being here, but your people ain't got nothing to do with this. So just get your popcorn, enjoy the show. Hey, you might have went through something in your own, life, in your own land, your own people. You might want to take notes and go after them too. It's just, since the beginning of this country, all the way back to the Declaration of Independence, a lot of people don't know this about the Declaration of Independence, but when Jefferson wrote it, there was a section in there specifically about those Negro people, those African people, those black people who were taken from their country, uprooted, and brought over here specifically for economic reasons. And then once the people of the colonies decided to buck, the same king took them from there and traded them and did all kind of unsightly BS, went to those same people and was like, hey, tell you what, if you fight in this war, I'll turn you free. You're the reason I'm here in the first place. Why would I want to fight for you? You know? But there were people who did it. But Thomas Jefferson put this explicitly like, hey, this is wrong. Why are you doing this? This is against the nature of God. This is against the nature of life and liberty. And you're taking a man, taking him to another hemisphere, putting him in slavery, making him make you money, selling him at your free will. That's not cool. And of course, the people told him, hey, listen, bro, you can't put that in this declaration, boy, because that's the economy and we're going to have to work our way through that. But Thomas Jefferson thought enough to put that in the original rough draft of the Declaration of Independence. That lets people know that, hey, listen, these folk wanted to make atonements from the very beginning of America, not 1619. I ain't talking about 1619, right? I'm talking about 1776. I'm talking about 1775 when we're leading into this, and their mindset is like, yo, this is wrong. This is not what this country is about. This is not what we're supposed to be out over here. This is not our experiment. We're going this way. We should take pride in that. As you said, this is our land. This is our home. This is the only home that a lot of us know. Some people have, you know, taking their 23andMe's, and I'm gonna be real, y'all. I don't believe in 23andMe or Ancestry.com. As
Can I
far
just
as
say really quickly on that and why this all a farce? So I've been, as you know, protocol. I left the country during the Obama years, and I went into political exile, and I moved to West Africa and Senegal. Okay, and I got a whole life in Senegal. I told you I wear all kind of little hats. But you know, I got my life in Senegal. I speak my French, my Wolof. I go over there and make my CFA. With all of that being said, I began to really study the slave trade from the other side of the world. And if you do these 23andMe or Ancestry.com or whatever, you're going to get in your list that you have a high percentage of Nigerian blood. Okay. However, this is not true at all, not even a little bit. If you study the water currents from West Africa and how they lead over to North America, the currents that lead to the United States of America come from the Senegambia region. This is why when you watch Kunta Kinte, where's Kunta from? Gambia. He's from Senegal. He's not a Nigerian. Those were not Nigerians in roots, but there is an economic exploitation that's going on against the freedmen from continental Africans because they need our dollars to rotate in their economies. Remember, Black America, we one of the richest economies in the world. So now everybody wants to, I call it Yoshi. Y'all play Mario and you got to jump on Yoshi back and he, you know, you ride him to the front. Everybody trying to Yoshi us right now, right? In some kind of way. And they're doing it through this 23andMe. So that's the first thing I learned. The second thing I learned is that due to the migratory patterns of West African people, the people who are there now may not be the people who were there 400 years ago. Because when I was living in Senegal, a lot of people would ask me if I'm Pular, because I got a big forehead and big eyeballs. And the Pular people are originally from Ethiopia. So they traveled all the way across from East Africa all the way to West Africa and landed in the point, you know, the ending point of West Africa, which is Senegal, Dakar. So if you are a Pular tribe person, then theoretically your 23andMe can say that you're Ethiopian. It can say that you're Sudanese. It can say that you're from Niger. It could say you're from Mali. It could say you're from Senegal. It could say you're from Gambia. It can say you're from Guinea, right? But they don't give you a tribe. They give you a geographical location and they give you a country name. And that country did not exist 400 years ago. These African countries popped out in 1960. So how your people Nigerian and it wasn't no Nigeria back then?
Come on now.
You see what I'm saying? So we got to be careful with that. But I say all that to say, I moved to West Africa. Okay. Now I thought I was going to get out of here. I'm going to go give me a black, you know, my blackness. I'm going to, you know how that goes. And when I was there, I was sitting at a bowl. We were eating. It was a holiday, and a woman called me a tubob. Now I don't know if y'all remember the word tubob from Roots, but tubob is a Wolof word that means white person or foreigner, right? And so she's talking about me in Wolof. She don't think I know what's going on, but I responded to her in Wolof like, "Hey Joe, watch your mouth." Like, don't call me no white woman. That's like the biggest insult that an African can call an African American is white.
Right.
And they were like, no, 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 no. We're not saying that you're European, but what we're saying is that you're foreign. You don't dress like us. You don't eat like us. You don't work like us. You don't sit like us. None of that. And that's okay, American girl, because you American. You not African. Go, stand on being an American. Your tribe is so powerful. And that experience is what ignited the patriotism in me. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't get caught up in all that. Like I said, I got a whole popping life over there structure, but I know I'm not a Senegalese. I know I'm not a Wolof. I know I'm not a Bambara. I am a freedman. I am a freedman through and through. The way I eat, the way I talk, the way I dress, the way I think, everything is 100% American. So we, again, got to push that on our people. But we got too many, and I hate using this word, but we got too many coons on the stage.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know how we gonna bomb them off the stage, right? Because we, everybody got their portion to speak. But I think that the coonery is what is our, like I said, that's all our problem is right now. It's the coonery, because our people are logical enough to see that the Democratic Party has not been kind to us, right? It has not been kind to us from their inception. They have never been kind to us. But our people are hesitant to go over to the Republican Party because, one, they don't want to align themselves with racists, and two, they don't want to align themselves with coons. So the only way we gonna fix this in our bubble is we got to create an alternate path or an alternate lane for people that's saying, look, we Black, we proud, we happy, we ain't trying to move in no suburbs, we ain't trying to have no beige babies. Shout out to the people who do got them, but that ain't what we own. We like living here with us. And we want to help you get into a political space where you can start to develop yourself too, aside from these villains who've been tricking us for years.
Absolutely. Yo, I got to bring my partner in here. Black 007's in the building. Mr. The James Channel himself, man. My brother went to Savannah State with me. Well, he went there before me. I came in after him and did my thing. He did his thing. He was well known on campus. He also is a Trumper, a heavy conservative guy. Goes through the foolishness along with all the rest of us, but he stands up very well to it. My brother is a computer networker. He does all kinds of good stuff with networking and computers. So I'm gonna bring him up to this thing. My dog, Mr. James Channel, Black 007, what's happening, bro?
What's happening?
Man,
what's happening, my God, man?
Having great conversation with my brother and my sister, man. They went dark right now, but I'm sure they'll be back momentarily.
I'm still here. I'm just got to get myself together.
Okay, cool. Handle your business, man. Yo, bro, you're gonna love Sis. I turned you on to her. I think you follow her on Facebook, but recently she had an interview with one of our favorite people.
She had an interview with one of our favorite people. Who could that be? One of our favorite people. I know you picky with favorite people now, so I gotta see. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you'll knock off a conservative in a minute, but like they said one thing wrong. Let me see. One of our favorite people. Is it like you talking about like somebody like someone on the level of like Mike Flynn or something? Or you talking like a little like
wow.
That's who it is, honey.
Wow. How did I know?
My dog, damn man. She had the People's General on her show.
I'm jealous of you. That's sick right there.
Hey man, listen, when she did it, I was like, oh, I'm jelly. Like, girl, you got the general on that thing. And
we all trying to emancipate our people. We all gotta do our part.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I get all y'all names? Because I don't want to mispronounce nobody's name. Benjamin, can you introduce me? Who's what's the dude and the girl name? I can't see like the words. They're real small. Is that Leonard?
Yes, it's Leonard, but Leonard it's both.
Leonard, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, brother Leonard, and that's P Ray up there.
Oh, P Ray. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it on vertical mode, like so. Like the words are kind of small. I see y'all face, but yeah, it's kind of small. But yeah, nice to meet y'all.
Yes, sir. Same here.
Yeah. This is my brother right here, man. Like he, to be honest, I don't not sure if he gave y'all a quick background of like how we met, man. But like I mean, but of course we was already affiliated and knew each other through SSU. Even though I didn't really know him that well at SSU, but like you know what I'm saying, he followed me, I followed him. I knew of him, but I didn't know him. But as I was talking my stuff and popping off, like you know what I'm saying, when Hillary and Trump was running in 2016, I was going against the grain. I was going against Hillary. I was going against the Democrats. I was going against BLM. And I see my whole timeline was just like hammering me, and like and Benjamin picked me up, man. He DM'd me. He like, man, you got to be the smartest man on my timeline. He like, man, let me show you something. And that's when he put me on. First he put me on a praying medic that pretty much taught me about Q. And then he showed me the Q, and he showed me to a couple more folks, and like the rest is history, because I picked up the information so fast that I kind of already knew, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of already embarking on that anyway, but he kind of gave me a deeper depth. So I always forever appreciate my brother for bringing me in the fold, for bringing me in the deeper conservative movement, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Protocol, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we've been rocking for like the last, I guess like what now is going on, because that's 2016. So we're going on 8 years, just like hammering folks online, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I started my own channel. I ended up getting a website because I was afraid my Facebook or my Twitter's going to get deleted. And that's what happened. My Twitter got deleted and my IG got deleted. But luckily, I still got my Facebook, and I had my website. So I shut my website down because it was just too costly. And now I'm just running my platform on Facebook. But I do want to rebuttal to like what P Ray has said. One thing P Ray has said about like the black community versus moving out to the suburbs and stuff like that, and having like beige babies. I'm gonna be honest. I do got a beige baby, and I do.
I ain't knocking you. I know
you want like. Yeah, I know you want to throw no shots. That's okay.
I'm just saying, I don't think I was trying to come at you.
I was. Yeah, but like we can't help who we fall in love with, right? So it's like
no, you can't. But what I'm no. Let me tell you, I'm deeply in this movement. And there are people that are here that see that as a status symbol. Not just, I've met this person, like my ex-husband is African, okay?
Yeah,
my daughter is half African. So I get all of that, that international loving on people, whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you are doing that to fix an inadequacy that you feel, because again, a lot of them, their only goal is to be accepted and validated by white folks. It don't matter if you're talking about black people. This is why you can do a video and talk about Ahmaud Arbery deserving to be lynched, right? Because you're showing out for white folks. This is why you can do. Look at you, Protocol. You're so crazy. But no, I'm serious.
I'm not gonna say
that showing out. Yeah. And that's what I mean. So you can get your money, and now I'm gonna be quiet because we got a lot of people. I'm gonna leave you with this point to make it clearer. Like I said, I work in finance. I work in investments. I've been doing it for 5 years. I'm licensed, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. One of my colleagues said to me, P Ray, you have a good job now. You can move out here to the suburbs and be closer to the job. You don't have to live out there. I told him, hey, Tom, you are absolutely correct. But I like to make black-eyed peas and smoked turkey tails. And if I move to the suburbs with you, where am I going to buy my turkey tails, Tom? How am I going to season my cabbage if I move out there with you, sir? He said, well, what are turkey tails? I said, I can't tell you because we already told you about oxtails and now we can't get them. So don't worry about a turkey tail. But, So
and we got them 100.
No, I feel you, P. Ray. Everything you said makes sense.
I didn't mean no harm, honey.
Yeah, no doubt. I was just mostly speaking on the fact that because it's the same with me. Like honestly, that's why a lot of people started to like judge me when I got into the conservative movement, because once I started supporting Trump, that's when I first got engaged. Well, I actually got married to my, actually we're separated, but we're like best friends. So I'm single now, but like when I married her, it was kind of like at the same time, like right when Trump got in office. That's literally like 1 year after I got married. I got married in 2015. Trump got elected in 2016, and then I had and then let me tell you what happened. Like my wife was like having seizures, and she almost had like she did have an accident while she was driving. She had a seizure while she was driving. And I used to stay on the south side, like in Atlanta. I used to stay off Camp Creek, College Park, had my own house, everything. Like I'm from Lithonia, black community. I went to all black church, New Birth, all my life. We ain't gonna talk about New Birth in the pastor, but I went there all my life. You know what I'm saying? When I say I went to SSU, all HBCU, black fraternity. I'm an Alpha Phi Alpha, all black. I'm all black, but at the same time, I got logic. I got
yeah, 0608 connection up in this thing.
Yeah. I got common sense. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was once I met my fiance, she started having seizures now, and me and her are both in the IT, and all the IT jobs in Atlanta, they're not even downtown. They all in like Duluth and Alpharetta, and I didn't want her driving far to like Alpharetta, and I was like, you know what? I already know I'm married. I was like, I'm gonna rent my house out. And because I would have never moved to Alpharetta by myself because it's so expensive just by yourself. So we moved out here, had a townhouse, had our baby, bought a house and everything like that. And then it's like now we were separated. Now I'm out here, like around all these white folks. The grocery stores are different, and but I will say this. I don't regret it because I moved out here to be closer to the jobs, and so she won't have to drive so far having seizures. That was the only reason why we moved out here. And now that I'm out here, a lot of my friends are like, "Oh man, he bougie now because he's staying in Alpharetta. He married like a Turkish girl, but they call her a white girl, but she's Turkish. Like she moved here when she was 16 years old, like from Turkey. Like she's not like a white American, you know what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of stuff was pissing me off, how they were just judging her and judging me, where I live and who I date. And I was like, man, you know what, man, fuck these folks. Because I was just like, a lot of people don't have, so I didn't have to explain myself to everybody. But just since we're having this conversation, I will say this about the black community. If I had the opportunity to move back, would I? No. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because now that I'm awakened, I know what they're doing to the black community. I know what they're doing to the schools. I know what they're doing to the food. I know why they're putting abortion clinics on every corner. Why they putting liquor stores on every corner. Why why the roads ain't paved. You know what I'm saying? Why they taking money out the system of the black community. Like the system is being deprived. I actually was telling people like, hey, look, if you got the opportunity, I can help you with career choice stuff like that. But I was telling all my black people like, I'm not saying like don't live in a black community, but if you can try your best, if you have the opportunity and the finance, try to move to a different part, not because of race, but because of safety in the school systems and the school.
But the schools suck, baby. I'm an educator. I'm P-Ray, M-E-D. I'm an educator, and I've studied this at nauseum. And when I say at nauseum, because I have an 11-year-old. And I told you guys I have a school, or maybe I didn't. I have a school in West Africa. It's a bilingual Islamic international school. I have 1,000 students from 35 nationalities, and we cater to the children of Islamic diplomats, ambassadors, West African heads of state, and business people. Mm-hmm. So with all that being said, I put my daughter in school when we moved in 2016. I put her in school over there. So my baby was learning how to write in cursive in preschool. Okay. My baby came back to America trilingual or quadrilingual. She was speaking French, English, Wolof, and Arabic. Okay. My baby could write a little Arabic, all of this stuff at 5 years old. There is no school in any American suburb that would have given my child that. There's no school in the city of Chicago that would have given my child that. Number two, if you check the stats between Black children that are living in urban environments and Black children who are living in suburban environments, you'll see that there is a direct correlation between the academic output that they're delivering. Because regardless of whether or not you're in the city or in the suburbs, those teachers are going to put your child under the soft bigotry of low expectations, right? It does, and especially in the suburbs. I'm on the west side of Chicago. There's a suburb right on the other side of Austin Boulevard called Oak Park, Illinois. And Oak Park, Illinois calls itself one of America's most liberal bastions, and everyone is free and happy and healthy. Well, friends, I went to school. I went to grammar school in Oak Park, a Catholic school. And my Catholic school was the only Black school in this suburb, right? So when in third grade, we learned about segregation, I raised my hand. I tell my teacher, I go to a segregated school. This is a segregated school. She said, why you say that? I said, all these white people in the suburbs, and they don't put their kids here. So this is the school for Black people, and then they got their schools for the white people. I knew that at 9 years old, okay? However, if you look at the Oak Park stats and you look at the Austin stats, Austin is the west side of Chicago. You look at Oak Park, you look at Austin, the Black kids are doing the same across the board. And because the city of Chicago tore down its housing projects and scattered 250,000 people across the country, all of that Iraqi violence that y'all thought y'all were running from is coming to a suburb and small town right near you. This is why everybody in the country is saying, Chicago, come get y'all people, right? It's because of federal housing mismanagement. So don't think that because you run into a space, your child about to get a better education or you about to experience more safety. I've been over here my whole life. Knock on wood, I ain't never been robbed, jumped on, beat, stabbed, none of that. You know, so don't think that the Black community is going to be inherently lacking, that it's going to be inherently dangerous, that the educational system is going to be inherently worse. Because my daughter goes to a local Lutheran school here, and she scored a 98% on her math test. 98%. Ain't nowhere, you know, that's
Let me
hard to get. You see
let
what
me
I'm saying?
say
So, and I'm not
one
saying
thing.
like
Like,
as
I
a, as
can
a
I
but
can I say one comment?
wait, I just want to finish this point,
Okay.
Denard, then I'm gonna be quiet.
All right.
I say all that to say is that white folks water not wetter, white folks ice not colder. Okay, when my mom and daddy graduated from college, they moved back to the west side of Chicago because my daddy said white folks ice is not colder, white folks water is not wetter, and I would rather deal with vice lords than racists. And now I think that me and my brother have much higher self-esteem because we were raised in the hood with people saying, stand up tall. You smart. You gonna be something. Look at her. Clap for her, y'all. Yes. You get a lot of encouragement from your people if you look away from the dysfunction that's being pushed on us. That's not our standard, and that's not who we are.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Absolutely.
I'll say that it's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. I see both perspectives because I was raised in a housing project right here in Savannah, Georgia, in a really dangerous community, like really dangerous community, and I wasn't as active people, but I got involved. So when you have a certain background, like even me in Savannah here, because like I'm born and raised here in Savannah. Savannah's small; it's not as big as Chicago. You know, we're a small city. When people know you, your background and your reputation, they tend to have an expectation of you. So for me, it was a necessity for me to leave my neighborhood. So it's not that white folks' water is wetter or is better over there. Just sometimes based on your circumstances, it's better for you to separate yourself from what you were doing or the influence that you had because it's so easy to go back to it sometimes. Because I was a person that was really passionate about where I was from, really passionate about the people that was around me, and I know I will get sucked into some certain activities if I did not separate myself. And especially that I have a really strong family here and dynamic that's still in certain circumstances. So it's like it's not a right or wrong answer. I do think that you have to determine what's best for your family. I do think that Black people should value the Black community more. I wish it was to where we didn't feel we have to leave in order to feel safe or protected or just valued as a community. Like I want to be able to go to my community and be like, yes, because I used to say the dopest thing ever is for me to make enough money to buy houses in my community, right? To where I can fix them up and make it the way that I think it should be. Like that's the ultimate, you know, goal even for me now. But it still are certain realities that you have to navigate on a day-to-day basis. So I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong answer. I do see your perspective and I admire your heart, but I do see where Black Devil 07 is coming from as well. You just have to make the
But
best decision for your family and circumstance.
it's a socioeconomic thing, right? You say that you were from the projects. I ain't never lived in the projects, right? I grew up in a community where both of my grandparents or both of my grandmothers own buildings. I'm sitting in the building right now that my grandparents bought for me in 1972, right? Years before I was born. My grandparents say, my grandkids need somewhere to stay. We're going to get them a building. I stay here with my first cousin, right? And our tenants that stay upstairs. So for me, it's socioeconomic. Now, if I came from the Cabrini Green projects, I'm from Rockwell, Henry Horner, yes, That's not a permanent environment. Public housing was never created to sustain generations of families. That was a get in, get out, get on the government, get on your feet, push on out, right? So I understand if you're coming from that type of environment, why you want to leave. But here in the Austin community, we are a community of homeowners. Always have been a community of homeowners. Now, we're a community of homeowners who are dealing with a very large criminal element that's going unchecked by the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, the county of Cook, and the United States of America. But we are still homeowners. We are still educated people. We are still thriving and trying to raise our kids the best that we can. So we have to make sure that when we're talking about race, we don't lump ourselves into a pit of thinking that Blackness equates to poverty or Blackness equates to chaos, because that's not true. Now, impoverished communities may do that, but that has nothing to do with the race or the tribe.
And you know what? I actually agree with both of y'all's stance as well, and I'm gonna kind of piggyback off both of them. So, like Leonard, like what you said, like makes sense, and that's kind of like what the first thing I want to kind of elaborate on or rebuttal to, because like is I look at like the Black community versus the suburbs. I look at it as like more of like a humanity thing more than just like a race thing. It's not like Black versus white, because there's several Blacks and Asians and other races and mixed people that live in the suburbs. People need to stop making like, oh, you live in you white, like you live in white folks. No, like I got 3 neighbors. One is a white American couple. The one in the center of my cul-de-sac is like they're like some type of Latin or Puerto Rican or Mexican. I can't really tell what they are. They're really quiet. They don't really speak. And then my next door neighbors are Asian. Like they got 2 Asian kids that play with my daughter. Like it's not Black. I like when.
But those races come here to align themselves with whiteness. That's what we have to understand as freedmen. As freedmen, we have our own vibe. I'm gonna give y'all another story. We at the job, we talking about Saturday morning cartoons, right? Or your Saturday morning routine. So like, yeah, you wake up, you eat your cereal, then you watch your cartoons. I'm like, yeah, and then you watch Soul Train. And they were like, Soul Train. And I'm like, Soul Train. And they were like, huh?
Of course. Yeah, that's
wait a minute. I want to finish. They were like, is that a new show? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, whoa, are you a new American? What you mean you don't know what Soul Train is, right? So for me, I've never had the desire to integrate into white culture because of the richness of freedmen culture. You see what I'm saying? I want to eat turkey tails and dance to Soul Train, and that is okay. I'm still going to go to the firm and sell these stocks. I'm still going to go around the world and speak French and drink tea. I'm still going to host my show, regardless of all of that. Then that's the point that I'm making. Like, we have to know that as freedmen, our race, our tribe is so rich and so plentiful and so resourceful, but we can't even tap into those things because as a people, we believe that it is less. We believe that we not supposed to be here. And if you get 2 nickels to rub together, you better get up out of here as fast as you can. Where I'm sitting in a $400,000 building on the west side of Chicago. So why would I go from paying my little piece of rent here, right? When I say my little piece of rent for my 2-bedroom apartment in my building, that's my family's benefited from. Why would I take myself and my family and all that stuff and go move somewhere else to build somebody else's community when there's a community that poured into me, that loved on me, that raised my self-esteem, that kept me safe, that watches my baby, that does everything I needed to do? Why would I go and want to align myself with them? I don't see that as a step up. And I'm not saying that because other people see it as a step up, that makes that a bad thing. But I'm saying for P-Ray, that ain't never impressed me. Ain't never, ever, ever. I've never been impressed by that lifestyle because I grew up in a 2-parent college educated home right here in Chirac. I grew up upper middle class in the hood. So for me, this is not a poverty pit. My people weren't poor. My friends weren't poor. My neighbors weren't poor. My classmates were not poor. This is not a poverty pit. The west side of Chicago, the Austin community, is a thriving Black community that, again, is dealing with an unchecked criminal element. But we're not going to.
But that's where you was making a distinction at earlier, though. Because you made that distinction. So if you're ready to come from a community that is thriving, that's not the the norm for a lot of the people, especially here in Savannah. So like we don't have too many thriving Black communities. Well, you did have some, like maybe the Cloverdale area, Summerside somewhat, but the vast majority of the Black community here in Savannah, that's not the reality. So when people do get are able to be a little bit more successful, they do want to move their families out of that environment. Now, to your point, I wish the environments here in Savannah was more aligned with where you came from, because again, more people would have that passion for their neighborhood and for their communities. It's just not the reality for a lot of people. So that's why, the movements of giving back, like, listen, I think, and that's part of the reason I never left Savannah. I'm one of the people that say my city's cool enough to where I don't want to leave to be successful. I want to be an example to kids that have, the background I have, because, I went from a dishwasher to a general manager with no formal education. I was just given an opportunity. So I like to go back. Everybody else see, that's Leonard. He out the project. He out the east side. Look with him. He got it out the mud. He went from, he was washing dishes just like me. Now he runs the entire property, and I've ran several properties. So it's like, I like to share that story with people from my community. So of course I want us to take pride in it and know that we have value and all we need is an opportunity. But I just wanted to say that's just not, the community you came from is kind of scarce, so people, yeah.
It is.
I
and I'm gonna tell you the reason that I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, but the reason that it does not exist is because there are too many of us who believe that we are.
No, I didn't say it don't exist. I said it's scarce.
I'm saying that it's rare, rather. It's because we as a people believe, and I'm talking about just the talented 10th, right? Which I think is a farce as well. But a lot of people believe that they are the notable exception. And you are not the notable exception. Not you, Leonard, or P-Ray or Black 007 or Protocol. But what I'm saying in general, there are no notable exceptions, right? People are doing regular, schmegular American stuff in the United States of America. But somebody would look at somebody, like my grandparents came from Chula, Mississippi, which is the poorest town in the poorest state in the United States of America. Out of my cotton picking Chula grandparents, like I said, they got us this building, and they got 2 daughters that got PhDs, right? And even in our family, that ain't no big thing. That just means you can go to school and you did your work, you went to school, got your lesson, and came on home. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you Dr. So-and-so, but up in here, you just, Sheila, right? Because there are no notable exceptions. If we just start treating normal things as being normal, you went to school, you got a degree, that's normal. Bravo. You know what I'm saying? But not, you know what I'm saying? Look at him. He got his degree, and now he up here, and he got his 2 nickels in his bag, and here come his Uber. He getting out of here. No, you have to start telling our people that this is just regular stuff that you got to do in order to thrive in this country. That's what I
agree 1,000%, 1,000% with that. Because I used to make jokes even with my wife. I'm not gonna say her and lie. Like, she's from the suburbs, and so it was too many times to where if you from the hood and you got somebody from the suburbs, you make it seem like they're the cornballs and you got it all, But it's like we have to be able to show, like, no, 2-parent households are cool. No, coming to,
yeah. You know what
I'm
saying? That's a normal thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, we focus too much on our deficit as a people instead of normalizing normal shit. So people will be like, oh, my baby live in a 2-parent household. Okay, it took 2 humans to make that baby, right? So it's supposed to be 2 people there. Or I went to school with I'm finna get my nursing degree. Or I'm about I got this. Okay, like I said, you went to school, you got your lesson, you came on home. That's normal stuff. And that's what we got to do, because the reason that the Nigerians are the richest group of immigrants in this country right now is because they treat education like it is a normal thing, number one. Number 2, they teach their people to go get the biggest bag that you can get. So when you go into college, you're going to study engineering, you're going to study accounting, you're going to study some type of science, something that's going to get you a lot of money. When our people go to school, they go get psychology degrees, sociology degrees, right? So
Yeah.
we're trying to use this education to figure out our own condition. And we use so much of our political and intellectual capital trying to right the wrongs of our people rather than building and saying, you know what, this is where we at. So we need you to go to the engineering school. We need you to be an architect. We need you to be a lawyer. We need you to be a stockbroker. Everybody go to school, get y'all money, come on back home. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Just come back home. But when you get it, you ain't special. I want to put that out there to everybody. I promise you, you ain't special. Like Kanye said, you know, and I'm happy that people go get their degrees. I have degrees. My mama got degrees. My auntie, my daddy, everybody got them, right? Because like I said, for us, that's normal. If you got a degree, congratulations, but you are not special. You are not the notable exception. You are doing regular, schmegular American things. Do not elevate yourself above your people because at the end of the day, we are the same tribe. The same tribe. And you're going to be judged just like that man with his pants hanging down and his locks and his mumbling and tattoos on the face. You the same as that man. Regardless, I mean, not socioeconomically, but I'm
Yeah.
saying overall, tribally, it's all the same. And that's what I mean.
Mhm.
We got to get our self-esteem up. We must get
And
our self-esteem up. That's the only way it's gonna work.
And I think
yeah,
that's because we beat up on ourselves. Like
Yes.
it's so I'm opposite from all of you, right? I was born and raised in the suburbs, right? My dad was in the military. He had the opportunity to build a house right down the street from the military installment. Very early on, he did it. That was his family house. That's where I was born at, down the street in the suburban hospital. Like I was born in the hospital that everybody say they want to go to. Oh,
Yeah.
you
He born
St. Joseph,
in the rich people hospital.
St.
With the
Joseph's,
people with
right?
the insurance, right?
With the people with the
Yeah.
insurance, right?
Yeah.
Because and my mom at the time, she was a crossing guard, but the crossing guards was ran through the city of
School
Savannah
system.
Police Department, right?
Mm.
So she was getting that good insurance with the police department folk, you know what I'm saying? And then my dad was a military, so we had that TRICARE, and then he also was a club owner, so he had that dough rolling in from there. But I was in the suburbs. And at the age of 12, I moved out the suburbs into the hood. My daddy was like, nah, you gonna have to find out what it means to be on the other side. Like you got this side, now you need to see this other side. You need to see how other people live. You need to understand the way of the world, and I appreciate that. But I was in middle school and that was a major culture shock that went from suburbs to the hood, and it wouldn't have been bad because I had hood family members, right? I got family right now that still live in the hood.
Oh, yeah.
I was Yamacraw. I was out there playing as a kid because when moms went to go do some work, somebody had to keep me, so I was out there in the craw. I spent a lot of time over in Carver Village. These are hood places in Savannah. That I got some good raising in, but I got to understand a lot of people's mentality. But the one thing that came when I got to middle school was, oh, you from Georgetown? Oh, you rich. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means. Like, I do what I'm supposed to do. I don't get in trouble. I get what I want, because I have no reason not to get it because I'm not asking for anything that's not within reason and I'm not getting in any major trouble. So why would I, be turned down on that? But I also understood the importance of working because the whole time I've been able to know anything. My dad's been an entrepreneur. Hell, I'm sitting in our office right now. There's a whole bunch of plaques and stuff that he earned in the military that's on the wall behind me. I was sitting in on this same side of this desk at 12 years old. You understand? Writing proposals and reading blueprints and that type of thing. That it was a blessing because it got to show me, what I'm saying, another side of things. And a lot of my friends, I got friends I went to school with. There were some people who didn't know how to take it, and you had other ones who was like, well, that's a business owner and they black, boy, and I could learn something. Like I can get it. My daddy ain't here, or my daddy don't know. So I'm gonna go be around them. Then I'm gonna pick up a little something. And to this day, I have a lot of people that tell me, man, your dad was real or is real. Cause my daddy's still here. I ain't pushed him away yet. He reached out. He showed us something. He showed us something different, and I appreciate that because he came from Overtown Projects in Miami. Like they used to call it Nigga Town down there, right? Overton, Nigga Town, all the black folk at, and he moved to Savannah and fell in love, and that's what it is. So we want to see a difference when it comes to the chocolate community. I just want the chocolate community to know that they can live different, whether they decide to move out to the suburbs. It's okay if you can afford it and that's where you want to live. If you want to, and I'm a proponent of buying up what is yours and securing what is yours, especially in a place like Savannah, Georgia, where people and tourism is coming like crazy. We shouldn't be allotting all these out-of-towners to buy up everything. This is our home. We should own it. And these people, just like what his name is, Jay Prince or whatever, when they got to go in Houston, check in. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do wrong by us. Check in. And I'm not saying like, check in, extort, whatever the case may be. But hey, we got these black restaurants. Go eat. It's this them turkey butts you've been hearing about. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get some of them smothered turkey wings. We on the water. Get some fried fish and grits. Get some conch. Like, that's the thing. Like, live the culture. Check in with us. Let us know you care about us, because that's what this is. And then we should be showing our community that we care about our community. We want these businesses to thrive. We want these houses to look good. There's all kind of grant money out here to redo a lot of grandma and auntie in them house. And as the third vice chair of my party, I'm going to make sure that I have all of those people come into these neighborhoods that are within Chatham County and know what's available. The Democrats do a damn good job with it. They really do. They put the stuff out there. A lot of people don't take advantage of it. I want to make sure that we can allow people to understand what's going on so they too can take advantage of it.
But Ben, how do you to that point? And I mean, I want to hear all you guys' perspective on it, because financial literacy is a huge reason why we haven't been able to take advantage of those things. So how do we go about teaching financial literacy to our community in a more effective way?
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm glad you asked.
Stockbroker here. Well, go ahead.
Because I just want to.
Now I'm gonna put the phone down for a second because I'm gonna change my shirt too because I'm a little hot. But I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening.
No, I had on a sweater and I was like super hot under the light, so I took it off.
Yeah.
I understand. Go ahead, bro. What's up? You want to say something?
So kind of like piggybacking off what all y'all said. Really, all y'all made some really great points. I'm just sitting here taking some notes and trying to digest everything and trying to see how I want to spit this out. So, and just give me some time because it might, take a little. Yeah. So I just got some shit to spit based on what he just said. The financial literacy thing is huge. Like that's kind of like I've been in, like kind of. With all the bank failures and everything going on, the Federal Reserve, we all know the inflation. I kind of been really kind of in crypto. I've kind of been really getting into finance even more than I even used to. Even Benjamin can speak on that behalf. I just kind of really been. First, I wasn't like even as a 40-year-old man who makes double six figures, who can buy what I want, can do whatever. But it's like sometimes I still mismanage my money because I haven't been taught, and we're always expecting our education system to teach our children about how to balance a checkbook, how to invest in stocks, how to do this, how to invest in real estate, and we can't do that. It starts at home, but that's been our problem. The home doesn't know either. So we have to, now that we are educating ourselves, now we are the beacon. We are the line that need to start that re-educating. I've been telling people like, me and Benjamin had some of these conversations. They were like, "Yeah, well, how you gonna like the black community if you're not in, like you're not walking through the?" I'm like, "Listen, that's like a lot of talk is like you don't have to be walking down Gottlieb Road, with a loudspeaker on talking truth to like in fact like it's all about different type of communication where you do it online, literal and things like that. I have young brothers that listen to me now. We have to be more disciplined and more aware of how we're educating our children. Right now, I'm gonna tell you what's educating our children: social media, hip hop music, Soul Train, the same stuff you said that we hold so grip onto. I've over years I've kind of learned that is culture. That is what we grew up on. That's what we're clinging to. Every culture, whether it's Latin, Blacks, Asian, they all eat a certain thing. They like a certain TV show. They watch a certain thing. They dress a certain way. Like that's culture. But we shouldn't just rely on that as like Blackness. I hate people just rely on hip hop or just rely on social media or rely on these hashtags. It's like this is our culture. You can't get it. That's kind of one of our poisons, our toxins, and our poisons now, and we have to stop. Secondly, the other point I wanted to get to about kind of getting back to like the whole suburb thing versus because all y'all had made great points and like Benjamin said, he was in Georgetown. They thought he was rich. That's kind of like the point I want to make. Like in most cities, especially like Atlanta, most suburbs is not that far from the hood. Sometimes it can be 2 blocks over.
Well, that's how they created it during when Black folks started moving into the metropolises.
Right. But hold on, let me because honestly, every city and every state is different. Like he said, I've seen certain cities better. I've seen certain, like he said, he wished his like Leonard said, he said he wished his projects was more like with yours that you speak of, like here in Atlanta.
No, he don't want Leonard does not want the Savannah projects to be like the Chicago projects. I told you I don't know nothing about that. You know, that's not what I'm referencing. I'm not referencing that experience at all.
So I just want to get to a few points. I'm gonna get through all, but I'm gonna follow up on those aspects. But here's one of the things I really kind of want to get out, like they're not. Especially like in Atlanta, like they're not far from each other. I tell people all the time, like, and they have us thinking like this and talking like this for a reason because we're always gonna be fighting against each other. Like right now, especially for what I see in Atlanta, like it's not even about like a black or white thing. It's not even about more like what I've kind of found out the difference between what you could be in a suburb neighborhood, like 10 miles up the road and everything beautiful, the grass is green, and over here the road's not paved, your hoods and lower condominiums communities and section 8 housing. The only difference between that 10-mile radius, I'm telling you, is not a line that says black folks over here, white folks over here. It's not it's better jobs on this side of the line and not jobs on this side of the line. The only difference is mindset. The only difference is intelligence. That's it. They teach us to like hold this barricade up, this false barricade, but it's a false barricade. And I didn't realize this until I moved out here. Like, I'm not saying these things like, oh, everybody should move out. No, I don't want everybody to move out. I'm not saying everyone should move to their local suburb and just ditch the black community. No, that's not what I'm saying. I think people who are in the black community and have the funds, I really think they should be helping build it up and stop relying on the government. But to get back to what I'm saying is that I think that I didn't find that out until I got out here. It's not like, oh, I told you I moved out here because of my wife's medical condition, because of our jobs. It's just that once I got out here, I was like, whoa, like I've never seen this before. Like they got like sidewalks, like martial arts studios, like every corner there's like a child prep computer class, like little Indians and like it's not even white folks taking advantage of these services. These are Indians, Asians, like Mexicans, like because these resources are out here. Like when I was living in the black community, I was like, dang, I didn't really see all these nature sidewalks, these nature parks. I didn't see because nature is very, very imperative, especially when you're a child. Is nature is very imperative to your mind and your body and your health as you grow older. They say a young person should be in nature more than anything, more than anybody. Like creeks, water, trails, trees, animals, plants, like just be around it, smell it, touch it, or pick it up, running in a grass field with flowers. They're tearing all that down in most black, like out here. I'm like, wow, like they built a neighborhood and there's nothing but, like I got a pond behind my house, like nothing but creeks and stuff. And I'm just like, why that type of nature? Why that divide line? Why? I'm telling you, everything comes to like nature and like quality of life. Like I said, this is not about a black or white thing. I look at it as like quality of life. That's why I say it's a humanity thing. Like out here, like I'm like soccer fields and like and and lastly, and this is the last point I'm gonna make because I don't want to like be the only one talking either. I like to respect everyone's time. It's like lastly, I would say about how like the Black community is kind of being targeted, and that's why I said if I had the opportunity to move back, I would not. It's because it's not just the school systems. Like, yeah, we could talk for ourselves. Like, yeah, we want to do this. We think like this. We need to empower. We need to do this. But little do you know, when your child go to school, those in those real Black high schools, they got a low grade level and high crime and stuff like that. Them kids ain't going to be thinking about what your mom or what we thinking about. They like they giving your kids pills. Hey, come to this party. Yeah, let me follow you on social media. That like you don't understand. Your child is getting sucked into a toxic culture.
That's what happens in the suburbs. Wait a minute. Wait. I'm
Hold
sorry.
on.
I live in the heroin capital of the United States of America.
I know it happened.
And those suburban kids are overdosing. Not
no, you're right. It happened. I'm trying to get to that. What I'm saying is not like you just picked out one thing. I'm not just talking about just the drugs.
So you said giving them pills. Black kids in Chicago not doing pills. That's in the suburbs.
Right,
our kids are not getting high because we grew up during the crack era. So our kids are not doing that. That's what I'm telling you. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you have to be very careful about the umbrellas you put over us. That's all I'm saying. And to that point, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to say this while I'm thinking about it. When we talk about financial literacy, we always had financial literacy. That's what I'm talking about right there, y'all, talking shit about the tribe. We had financial literacy during slavery when we were buying our freedom. So we had slaves who were so financially literate that they figured out how to earn money as a slave, save that money, and buy their freedom, then go get all their family. So we've been wait a minute. We've been managing money in this country from the beginning. But my point is, during the Obama administration, see, we got to remember that we are being attacked on multiple angles, and that's why we got to show ourselves grace. Because during the Obama administration, our tribe lost 70% of its wealth. That means everything that we gathered from 1865 to 2016, 70% of that is gone. And that's because we were targeted and manipulated by the financial and banking system that didn't have nothing to do with us, not even a little bit. So you can't blame the fact that we don't have these assets anymore or that we're not being financially savvy on our ignorance. We know what to do. We've been getting money. We know how to get money. We know how to thrive in our country. But we need the government to stop, or I'd even call them the liberals, because it was Rahm Emanuel who created that whole bubble, which is a whole nother story. But we got the DNC went out of its way to change the banking rules in order to take the properties from Black America, because the Congressional Black Caucus had a initiative that they started in 1999 called WOW, with ownership wealth. And the Congressional Black Caucus wanted to increase Black home ownership by 1 million between 2000 and 2010. Well, friend, Rahm Emanuel went behind, lobbied the Congress, got them to change the banking rules so that they can give us those subprime loans. They sent people to our neighborhoods to market that bullshit to our families, and we lost our wealth. They don't got nothing to do with the ignorance. We know how to write a check. We know how to save money.
But that's actually a part of financial literacy. Is actually knowing the system and how to work it. So it's not what we're talking about that we know. No, but you still have to. No, but the thing is, like,
I'm saying this as a registered finance professional. I know everybody know their thing, but in this conversation right now, I'm the finance professional. I don't know what everybody else do, but I know for me, I've been doing this a long time. I was in school when the market blew up. Okay, I've been watching this from the beginning, and what I'm saying is there was no way for Black America to avoid what the banks did to us. There was no way to avoid that, no matter how financially savvy you were, no matter how many classes you went to, no matter what. Black people on every single socioeconomic level lost wealth during the Obama administration due to federal mismanagement. That is an attack on the tribe, and we got to show each other grace. Stop saying that we don't know how to count money, because we do.
So I'm gonna go ahead and rein this in right quick, and I'm gonna let you go ahead, James. Out there, you taking notes, so you know. Put that,
sorry,
that's all right. I understand. Because you know everybody has a major point. What you're speaking on the finances,
like everybody has a point. I just want him to be able to express his point without being interrupted.
Hey, how about this? We gonna keep Ben. We're gonna go down to me. We're gonna hit Leonard. We're gonna go back up to P. Ray. Like that, so we can talk.
We having a conversation. We know.
It's a whole conversation, man. You know, getting where you fit in. I don't have nothing but time. This is great. I know, bros. I know you got the wife, P. Ray. You got baby love. You know what I'm saying? Who may very well be getting ready for bed right now. I know Kel's in there and she knocked out. You know, so I ain't got nothing but time and conversation. I might open it up. I see my brother. He done checked in, man. Mr. Georgia Gert. This my brother that I was telling you, P. Ray. That's up there in Chirac with you right now. That got it was shown love and got accepted up there. So I know it's pretty calm up there when it comes to Savannah folk up there in Chicago. But no, you like it's a complete rightness of what's going on from everybody, what everyone is saying. There is a perfect mix of all of it, right? We got screwed over by the banking situation when and how they took our money and our wealth from us. But at the same time, as of right now, I think there is a lot of missed financial education that is that has taken over our community to the fact that, you know, tax time come in and no one is thinking about, well, I'm not going to say no one, but a very small amount of people are thinking to the level of, hey, I'm finna buy a vending machine and put it in this place that's, you know, heavily trafficked by people. That way I can get a whole lot of money being generated from this vending machine where I can go and take it and make some more money down the street. It's shit. I'm about to get these nails. Well, I've been looking at this Brazilian booty lift, boy. I'm finna go and drive my car 18 hours to Mexico to get this Brazilian butt lift. You know, it's these types of things that when it comes to financial literacy that, you know, we need to honestly hone in. It's okay to buy beautiful things and luscious things. There's nothing wrong with that. We've been doing it forever. We is the culture of having luxurious items. Okay. I look at old pictures of us and it's like, damn, boy, we used to play baseball in suits out here in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's old pictures of us in suits and Sunday's best and everything. And I think that needs to come back. And it's a mindset thing, and we'll get into it, and we'll get into it more coming up soon. Shameless plug. Protocol does have financial literacy classes coming back up in this thing for the Savannah area. I think it will be online as well. I may put it online so it might open up for the world, but I am definitely focusing more on in-person city of Savannah area because there's a lot of selling and a lot of buying going on. Excuse me. And I want us to understand and move our money. So financial literacy classes, they're coming. I'm going to bring my local financial doctor, right? I'm going to bring her in this thing because I think representation is everything, which is why I was so adamant about having this conversation that we're having right now, because people don't see us, right? They don't see the P. Ray that owns a school over in Africa and also works in finance and be rubbing elbows with a bunch of rich people. You know what I'm saying? They don't see that on a normal. Not someone who is saying, yeah, I do this and I'm still in the hood. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, they don't see that representation. They don't see a Leonard who is, you know, general manager handling mad business with properties and hotels and being the chairman of the Chatham County Republican Party. You know, they don't see that. They don't see a James, a black 007 who is out here making double six figures out here in these streets, driving a Maserati just because he wants to drive a Maserati, you know what I'm saying, with 007 on the tag. Like, we don't see that, you know, but with that representation, and we all us, right? Leonard from the hood, P. Ray from the hood, James from the hood, James from the HBCU, I'm from the HBCU. Like, they don't see this. So now people are thinking like, wait a minute, this is us right here. Like, they talking about sweet potato pies and turkey tails, you know, like in ox tails.
Anybody can get it. It's a mindset. Yeah. They try to hide it from you. Like, it's out here. It's not like a 100-pound, you know, 100 feet tall hurdle that just blocking you. Like, it's like we all know the money is out here because we all touch it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and that's the thing is it's kind of crazy how, you know, one thing about, well, I would say not us, like, because, you know, we have to separate ourselves from, that's why I say it's a mindset thing, from intelligent black folk from just black folk who just ignorant, because there's a lot of ignorant black folks. So you can't put everybody in the same category. And when I And that's why I try to associate myself and that's why I alleviate a lot of old people out my life. And I'm like, okay, I'm only fucking with these people, this person, because they got their eyes open, they know what the fuck going on. And I think the financial thing, because we finna have to learn how to financial reset again, because we finna have a financial reset so hard. We got to move. We got to move a different way once the system come back up. You know what I'm saying? We got to start investing to different things. How like financial literacy and financial smarts today is not the same smarts that we had back in early 1900s, 1800s. This is not nickel and diamond or counting. You know, this is all about. I mean, these people flipping crypto under different corporations, laundering money, putting money in this. Flip like you know what I'm saying, like you gotta know what you're doing in real estate. And the thing is, you can't just have one cup. I'm gonna tell you another cup, which is I'm in right now. Actually, I'm in the fintech industry. A lot of people don't know that's financial and tech. I'm an IT guy, like I'm a computer guy all day, but a lot of people think I'm just computers. No, I build the API that banks use to send real-time payments and Zales back to one bank in less than 10 seconds. And that's an API that goes through different channels that have to use a certain mechanism to go through. I know all the jargon, all the bank, the AML checks, the KY, know your customer checks. I know how Fidelity, FIS, and the Federal Reserve is connected. I know the whole banking system setup, right? My last 5-6 employers were banks. I work in the IT department of banks. I was a program manager for SunTrust for 2 years, and had one opportunity. I worked in a project so big, had one opportunity to sit in a meeting on the second floor with the CEO downtown. So the SunTrust Park Plaza, which is now the Truist Plaza. Let me tell you something. When you start getting high in finance, and you start knowing your way in tech, and that's what I'm talking about, fintech, like the financial the tech world. Financial and tech is what makes the world go round. And when me as a black man, when I'm up here in these meetings, when I'm on screen in these Zoom meetings, guess who I see? Divya Kikati, Asian Totatakate, is nothing but Asians, Indians, and whites. And guess who the only black motherfucker in there? Me. And I'm like, why ain't nobody sitting in these? I know I ain't the only person that got an IT college degree.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mindset, because because everybody want to go learn photography and dance and business. I'm gonna get my weight up. I'm just gonna buy a business. I'm just gonna buy a house. That's not how, like, you can buy one house. What you gonna do after that? If you don't own the house flat out right, you still a slave.
Still a slave to this thing.
Mortgage. And you remember I posted a video. It has a death grip on it. White thing is called a mortgage. Y'all sound familiar? A mortuary. You own a house that you in debt. You don't own the house. You will never own a house until it's paid off. And even when you got paid off, they can still take the house off.
That bank own it. up until you gotta pay that last payment. That bank own that house. You
don't own shit. You a slave.
Yep. And we could argue that we don't own it unless we have the land patent, but that's another conversation for another day, because we can go down the rabbit hole when it come down to land patents and truly owning land. But yes, that's absolutely correct, man. Like, we truly have to look at financial literacy.
Money in tech is so like I don't see nobody that look like me in these meetings.
Well, you know why? It's because the people don't have the self-esteem to do it. I'm telling you, like, even with me and my job, we begging people. When I say begging people to come, we'll get you licensed. We're going to train you.
Like, just come do it.
But let me tell you why. When I tell people, hey, let me send you a referral link, come up here and get some of this money with me, they say, I don't want to go up there with all them white folks. I don't want to go in there with all them white boys.
Mindset.
No, not mindset. Self-esteem. See, you can have the correct mindset, right? You can have the mindset to go get money. You can have the mindset to produce. You can have the mindset to gather, right?
You're right.
But if you don't have the self-esteem to go into those spaces and talk to them people, I know people that don't talk to white folks, period. They say, I don't talk to white people because they act like they don't know what I'm saying when I'm talking, and it frustrates me, so I just ain't got nothing to say to them. And I'm like, but they know what you're saying. It's just that you don't feel comfortable speaking in front of them, so you don't want to talk to them. So that's what I mean. We got to start telling people what's right about them.
You're right.
Telling people what they have, and then they can use that to get more.
Yeah, they hear my country this, and it's like, but what was coming out my mouth, they can't deny. They can't debate me, rebuttal, deny me what I'm saying. They know I know what I'm saying. So that's kind of what I was saying about mindset. I'm sorry, I probably used the wrong term. I was really basically just saying, like intelligence. Like you need to know what you're talking about. I've learned you'll get respect with any culture if you just know what you're talking about, not speaking on the surface, not huffing and puffing, not beating around the bush, nothing like that. Like you know the detail, you know all the terminology, the terms, you know all the quirkiness, or you know all the loopholes. So like you know how to run that lingo and even throw little jokes in there. But like you gotta kind of flavor that whole, put some personality in there, with you know with intellect. Hey, yeah. So what y'all doing this weekend? Your weather? Oh yeah, you're going camping this weekend? Like you fit in all the I don't really tell them what I really do on the weekend. I'm telling them I be in a damn strip club every weekend. So you got to play the role. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like sister, you're right. Like I forgot to mention that it's that confidence, because I know brothers the same way. Like they'll be hard as hell in the street. Like grab the bill, grab them niggas, stay by run this, and then they'll get around white folks. I see them ball up like a damn shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, boy, what's wrong with you?
But that, I guess that's the start of what my question was, because what you're talking about, because when I'm saying knowing the financial aspect of it is like I make six figures as well. Been making six figures since for about 10 years now, right? But it's still a different. I'm learning more and more like right now, and I'm one of the ones that people say quote unquote made it, right? And speaking to different people in business that actually have more, that actually are creating businesses and creating wealth, it's a different, they just know things the average person doesn't know. So when I say I want to bring some of that knowledge into our community, because it's not that we can't do it, we just don't know about it. And I want to actually present it in a way that is digestible. It's like breaking it down to a certain level. So I guess that was my point. Especially what you're saying when you're doing financial transactions and the tech community, and P. Ray, with your background doing what you do, like there's a way that we could present it to our community. So like that's what I meant by financial literacy. I'm not talking about, because fundamentals are fundamentals, to your point. You know how to count, you know how to subtract, math is math. It doesn't change. But the way that these institutions are taking advantage of the math has changed. We just saw 2 banks collapse, and they said that was a direct attack on cryptocurrency, because that was a way that people are getting influence outside of the institutions. So again, that's a part of, self-governance and self-reliance, and they don't want people to be as self-reliant, so like the government does have an agenda, and they are executing that agenda.
Well, we have to also remember too that the U.S. government will never, ever, never, ever, 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 ever allow a competing currency to exist. This is why they shot Gaddafi in the head and destabilized the entire continent of Africa.
You better speak it.
We have to know that when we talk to our people about augmenting, so that's what I mean. We can tell them, you know what, you know how to count, you know how to add, you fly, you take care of your bills. Let me give you something else to make that better. But when you come to the Black folks and you say, well, Black folks, we don't have good financial literacy, and we lacking this and we missing that, again, that's just poking more holes in the self-esteem of the tribe. So that's what I'm saying. Everything that we're going to give to the people, we are augmenting what they already have, because what they have is enough to thrive in the United States. Now, we're going to help you get to that next level, but as I'm helping you get to that next level, we have to make sure, as the people with the knowledge, that we are not diminishing the level that they're on right now. Because if we diminish the level that they're on right now, they might not follow us, right? Because you just broke their self-esteem. You just told them they don't have
you can't beat them up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we gotta.
So I didn't mean you, because of course you never tell. Like, everybody has their area of expertise, right? So like me in hotels, I deal with people that may not have finished high school, have a very, very basic level of education, and I have to lead that team. So like when I'm talking to people about like our 401k plan, or how they should, set themselves up, from a company standpoint, just listening to the feedback I get a lot of times are things that it'll be a cause for concern, but I'm never going to present it to them in a way like, how the hell you don't know that? It's like, no, this is how we're going to take this, and this is how you're going to do this. This is how we're going to make this work for you. They match, 100% of the first 3, then 50% of the next 2. But, what's your age, risk tolerance, let them know all different type of aspects. Right. So of course you give it in a way that's loving. So it's never to beat our people down. It's about meeting them where they're at. But I just know we need some enhancing. We need some work, and I'm prepared to do the work. So I would just, having people with different mindsets and different perspectives than me is like, how do we give that to them in a way that's not overwhelming? Because a lot of times, like, people give you information. I'm like that as well. Like when I go and have to take on a new different program, where they want GMs to do this now or that now, and they just give you this, online class, and it's no real feedback. Like, listen, I don't learn that way. Like, you need to talk to me one-on-one. I learn by doing it, right? So so I have to give it to my heart is to give it to people in that way that meets them where they are, and actually take my time the way they get it. Because once they got it, and then they could do the work for us. Like, they'll take it to the next person to help them get it. So that was my whole point. So I'm sorry if I wasn't as clear as I should have been.
I'm gonna throw one thing back at you, Leonard. Like what you said about, like, you said very true. Like, hey, yeah, we all make 6 figures, but it's like, it's still a bigger monster out there. It's still like, hey, like we we made it to other people. Like, because I feel the same way. I tell you right now, don't think I'm bragging and boasting by any means. Like, because right now, like you said, once you reach a certain level, everybody else is looking at you like God. But I'm just like, bro, I'm so behind right now. Like some of the people, like you said, like businesses, people building corporations and had their money in this system for long, and then when 2008 came, they came up on this and they invest. Like I just watched some of the stuff and I'm like, dang, yeah, that sounds simple. I would have did it too, but why didn't I know that? Why didn't I do it? So it kind of goes back to I'm gonna kind of throw it at you, like, more like politically. Like, this is how I feel. I feel like, if there was like a way that we could, like, teach our people, like, in mass production, like I'm talking about like actually, like, okay, let's just say we create a course, like I mean, that should be good, right? You used to think HBCUs in school systems, what I'm saying? Like, we have, like, let's say all 4 of us come together and publish a mathematical, financial literacy, how to make it out of college, to get to your first job, your first check, and how to invest that in taxes and crypto, and we lay it all out for them. Hey, tell us how many times we'll get denied and why we're going to get denied. They're not going to let no successful financial education system get driven to our kids, because we see the shit we see is going on right now in the school systems. We see what the government right now is censoring people who want to speak truth, good information, who want to expose things, something like that, or about big pharma. They got the cure to cancer. Why they ain't gave it to us? Censor. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what's going on in Ukraine ain't what they tell us. Well, why? Censor. Because, listen, man, that's what I'm saying. It's bigger. We can have. I could be a mathematician over here. I know one of my frat brothers. He's like a 10th grade math teacher. He's brilliant, but it's like, with his education, that's all he could do is just teach math. You know what I'm saying? But that's just math. Them kids like, okay, I'm just doing this just to get by, just so I can get past the next grade, so I can get the hell out of this damn classroom. Like, at the end of the day, the system that we got to instill, and we got to start at home, because we can't do it through a school system like the school boards and stuff like that. That shit is ran by government. That shit is ran by liberals. So they're not gonna let us have shit. People's going over CRT. Like, they ain't gonna let us have nothing like that. That's developmental, something that's prosperous, something that's beneficial. They're not gonna let them kids read that shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, but we have to meet them. I think we have to meet them where they are, right?
Yeah,
like I would say, like to your point. Of course, it's hard to use these platforms that we're on to get a truly transformative, revolutionary message out.
Right.
However, the civil rights movement started in houses. We didn't have the internet and things like that. I think we need to get back to our roots in that regard. So if I have a course, just how in politics we go door to door. Like we know who our voters are. We get our list. Like you remember, Ben, I know exactly how you voted the last couple of elections. Like I just kind of know, right? We don't see who you vote for, but we know if you voted DRR pretty much. So it's like if you know the demographics of your community or your county, then you can be more targeted in how you get the message out, is what I'm saying. Because it only takes a little bit before it to catch fire. Like if we go really hold an event in a community and we're pushing a certain, like, an agenda that's not solely beneficial to us. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody showed up in communities trying to take something out of the community. We'll be showing up trying to put something into the community, like literally. And people crave that type of attention. And as long as we're consistent in our messaging and actually going and actually out there, I won't even say door to door, but in those communities, like in a real way, you will start to make progress. So I don't think we necessarily, of course, these platforms will enhance and make the message easier to get to the masses. But if we just start in our own backyard and build, I think it'd be caught on like wildfire. Now, the thing is, in whatever plan we present or whatever curriculum you have, you have to be prepared for the system to want to change the rules of that game. So it's not necessarily this is just an ironclad path, but it's like teaching people how to think and how to question the system, or how to just be adaptable, because if you have your fundamentals strong, you can, it's harder for somebody to take advantage of you, is what I'm trying to say. So teaching people,
Black man that came out with he came up with his own theory of how to make your car run on water, not gas.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, quick. It's like anytime you try to do anything away from the ordinary, try to teach you people, make videos about it, it's like, you know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and we can make bigger examples. Like we see what Kanye going through. We see how they came at you know what I'm about to say another day. I'm not gonna speak on, not really. Well, I could say his name Kobe, but I don't want to get into like the politics of Kobe. Rest in peace. But also, I was talking about a buddy from the West Coast. They got shot. What's his name?
Nipsey.
Hussle.
Nipsey. So it's like anytime you speaking that truth, and like Nipsey was doing the same thing. Nipsey was showing people how to build how to buy your block behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
How to buy your block.
But he was moving, you know what I'm saying? He was moving stupid, And when I say he was moving stupid, I put it as there's no way at all. I don't give a damn who's a convicted felon. Bitch, you ain't gonna be around me if it means that I got to be around here naked. You understand? I'm not gonna be naked out here in these streets when I know I'm making these kind of moves. You don't see me nowhere at all naked. No, at all, nowhere. Like, this bitch is somewhere close. You feel me? And the other motherfucker is somewhere close too. Like that's just the way that it plays out. And we have to stop placating and making ourselves targets because we are worried about someone else's feelings. I'm not there. Like, check your feelings. Listen, there's a whole lot of other things that we should be feeling some type of way about. That this isn't going to be what stops me. Okay, we're going to keep moving because we got bigger fish to fry. But it's a matter of taking control and replacing the system that is already there. We know that the system is broken. A lot of our family and friends, they know that the system is broken. They see it. A lot of them, they want to listen to us. They want to get with us, on this side of the fence. But the problem is we have these conservatives and these, some closet racists, some outside racists, and even some of us, who say things like, so I was telling my brother earlier today, we brought Ahmaud Arbery was brought up earlier, right? I don't look at the Ahmaud Arbery thing the same way that most, chocolate people look at it, and even a lot of conservatives look at it. I think that all of them was in the wrong. I think that every last one of them, to include Mr. Arbery, was in the wrong. There was some blame to be placed at everybody's feet. I think it got real testy once Buddy jumped his ass out that car with that shotgun, and I think that's when a lot of things went awry. But I do believe that a conversation could have been had before Mr. Arbery took off running across yards that would have stopped him from he wouldn't have even been chased down the street by anybody, right? All he had to do was have a nice little finesse conversation. You could have been there looking to go, take something that wasn't yours, but you could have stood up and been like, hey man, listen, I'm just a guy in school. I ain't got nothing in my hand. I just came out the house. Whoop-de-whoop. I was just looking. Like, that conversation could have been finessed, but it wasn't. It was, hey, what you doing? Pew! Straight down to, cut across the yard, and just was like, you made yourself look guilty. You know what I mean? So, but some people won't really have that conversation. They won't really have the true conversation of what our culture is, right? The things that we uphold and say is okay, because, had he not got caught by them white boys, we would have been like, oh, okay, whatever, he a jack boy. You know what I'm saying? He had this, he had that. And it would have been no problem had it went the other way, and I say, address the white boys for what they did, but at the same time, we people, us, culture, fam, we need to address that this is not cool and we should not be doing this, right? Like, it's teachable moments. That's the same thing with Miss Taylor, right? There was a situation there that, a lot of people don't want to admit that she shot the gun.
Yeah.
Right?
It's deeper than that. She was on the jail phone selling drugs.
Come on now.
That's the whole thing. I tell people every time, the easiest thing for P-Ray to do, the easiest thing for me to do right now, y'all, is sell heroin with the Vice Lords, okay? The Chicago is the epicenter. We are the headquarters of the Mexican drug cartel. Over 90% of the heroin in this country is trafficked right here off the west side of Chicago. So if I wanted to quit my job and just sell heroin China White, I could do that. You want to know why I don't sell heroin? Because I don't want the Chicago Police Department to come kick this door in.
Come on now.
You see what I'm saying? I don't sell drugs on the jail phone because I don't want the Cook County Sheriff to come kick this door in.
Right.
If we did not even look at the aspects of Brianna being actively involved in this drug trade, being actively involved with these thugs in and out of jail, trying to be a cool girl. She got them driving her car, living in her house. And when she got shot, Kenny, her boyfriend, told the police crying she did it.
She did it. It's on video. She did. And then, and how I knew that he was telling the truth, right? My brother down in the corner, Leonard, brother, me and you, we gun enthusiasts, man. If somebody walk up to us and ask us what kind of gun we carry, we gonna tell them the make. We're gonna tell them the model. We're gonna tell them the caliper. We run all of that. When the police asked this man what kind of gun it was, it's a regular 9mm. What? you ain't saying it's
I didn't get all these y'all hipping me to stuff because I'm not familiar with all the ins and outs of these cases.
The videos on YouTube, the arrests on YouTube, they got the paperwork on her, the whole rip. And what really made me mad here in Chicago is that Lori Lightfoot, our outgoing mayor, made this big old thing about Breonna Taylor, say her name, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but we got girls sitting in Cook County jail for doing the same thing that Breonna did. We got girls sitting in the Illinois Department of Corrections for doing the same thing that Breonna did. So are liberals now encouraging Black girls to sell drugs?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. And, we got to be careful about how we let them play in our faces. Because, again, that was just an attack on the self-esteem of Black women. Because now we think that the police are going to come raining in on us, kicking our door in, shooting us while we laying up with our boyfriends. And that is not what happened. Not even a little bit. But we got to address that.
We have to.
Going to jail.
We have to. And because we leave it unchecked and unaddressed, it steady festers and it steady boils and we don't do anything. So it's those teachable moments that instead of actually teaching like we're supposed to, we'll allow them to just run with the narrative and push whatever they want. That puts us in a bad position. And we have to, we as a people, if we're going to progress, if we're going to do right, we're going to have to do it, and it's going to take uncomfortable conversations, by it's typically us chocolate conservatives that tend to think logically when it comes to certain situations, right? We don't always get caught up in emotions. Now, sometimes, some emotional things might happen that, we get caught up, but we run back to logic, and then we woosah and handle it out. And I think that's what, we seriously needs to do in a whole. And I think that'll help us get through, this next and final question that I'll have for us tonight. I've had you guys for 2 hours, P. Ray and Leonard. Brother, you working on your 2 hours. And again, I'm not rushing. We can get out of here at 10. I'll open the the doors of benediction and extend to make sure everybody's good at and then we can ride out who do, and those who want to stay can stay. But my question is, us being chocolate conservatives, 2 of us being party members, P. Ray being heavily active up there in Chicago. I'm not sure if you're a Cook County Republican member. I know how you feel.
No, they're not. I'm too good for them people. That's
Hey,
another story for another time.
Hey, let's not understand. You said something that hit on earlier. A friend of mine, she's out of Atlanta. She's in the Republican Party up there in one of the Atlanta counties, and she made a statement because I was really torn before running to get executive office during our last county convention, whether or not I really wanted to stay in the party or not, because I was seeing things that was happening and I really wasn't happy, but she told me something, and it's basically what you said, P. Ray. This is our home. This is our party. I'll be damned if I let somebody who essentially co-opted our party take over and run me out of what is meant for me. This was for abolitionists. This was for those people who happen to be slaves, those freedmen, and those freemen, because I tell everybody there's a difference between freemen and freedmen. Freedmen was people who were enslaved who were freed. Freemen is just that, men who are free. Okay, a lot of us, but there are some of us who just, hey, I'm a Moor, I'm a Berber, I know what's going on. I am not playing with you or your chattel foolishness, okay? So, but the question being, in saying all of that, what are we going to do as far as getting people to understand conservative values? And when I say we, I mean, from your perspective, what is it that we can do to get people to understand our plight on the conservative side? Look at us on the conservative side with a true, honest eye, and then start voting conservatively to save cities, whether it's voting for a DA who isn't all the way, police crazy, but understands that something needs to be done when it comes to addressing crime, or the school board and the books and certain classes that are being taught in school. So what exactly do you see that we can do? I was going to start with P. Ray. She went out. So I'll start with Leonard, Mr. Former Chair. And then if P. Ray is back, we'll take P. Ray. If she isn't, then we'll go over to James, and then I'll wrap up with P. Ray. So, Leonard,
well,
what do you see?
I think that's a great question. But I honestly just think there's a natural alignment with Black people's principles, which traditionally are more conservative than what there's already an alignment there. The voting pattern has just changed because a lot of Black people view Republicans as racist. Like my wife doesn't vote, but I'll just use her as an example. She's race conservative as well, right? She has a lot of the same principles that we have. She knows how important the First Amendment is, the Second Amendment is. She's a very church-going person. She knows, fundamental truths and things like that. However, one of the first things she said when I first got involved with the party is how she felt that, there was a platform for racists to feel welcome within the Republican Party. Now, I fought back against the narrative, right? But there is some truth. I've been involved enough to know that there's some people that have had conservative principles that are racist, right? However, I'm like, that's not the norm and the fringe of the party. So we have to show that that is the fringe of the party. However, I think that we have to challenge our community to take the courageous step, to be courage and saying, I'm going to vote my values right now. Because again, self-determination has always been a part of the Black community. Us being self-reliant has always been a part of the Black community. When we break it down to them and say, hey, the people that has to rely on the government the most, if the system crashes, who's going to be the most impacted? When you break it down to people, they totally understand what they already believe. And if we can communicate that in an effective way, you'll start to see more and more Black people vote Republican. I mean, the trends are kind of going that way anyway. Even with people saying Trump was, racist, he got a bigger share of the Black vote the last go around than he did the first go around. So he actually lost the race because he had less support, in the suburban areas than what he had in the actual inner city areas. When you look at how the vote came in.
They fucked them numbers. I'm just going to say that.
Ballot harvesting.
Yeah. But go ahead, bro.
They stole it. We know.
Leonard?
But it's like,
yeah, we hear you now.
Hello? Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying the numbers are still trending favorably is what all I was saying. So I think that Republicans are going to make more inroads. And it's really just because I think Black people are tired of the same old arguments that the Democratic Party has been giving us for the last 30, 40 years. Like we're smart. They're like, you can't keep feeding me shit and telling me it's ice cream. Eventually you have to show real result. So we're starting to wake up more and more and more. But again, we're just voting our values and actually showing them how the Republican Party is a natural ally of the community, and to not let people that you might view as a quote unquote coon or this fringe person impact how you should be voting or impact what is the right thing, because that was a hard thing for me as well. I didn't want to be associated with certain people, but then I was like, you know what, if these are my principles, these people are not what makes me who I am. So I have to be comfortable, who I am, part of that, self-esteem thing that P. Ray was talking about, being really comfortable about who I am and being able to express it and comfortable in my skin so I can actually give that message in an effective way. So that's part of what I'm going to be doing, what I have been doing, but what I'm really going to be doing in the next 2 years is actually going into our community with that message, door to door, old school. I'm not trying to just do it through digital marketing. I think the old school retail politics is what's missing, showing up in those neighborhoods and actually having a hard conversation with people. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Absolutely. Well, you already know I'm here with you, and we finna be busting down on the bus down. Hopefully you get nice and comfortable in that new piece of property downtown, and you can escape away a little more, a little easier.
Oh yes.
I know how that goes down, man. So I appreciate that. P. Ray, same question to you. I don't know if you heard it, but man, she blacked out.
No, hold on. I'm here.
Here. Okay. I was like, oh Lord, she blacked out.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I think the most effective way, again, is self-esteem. We have to give it to our people straight, and we have to ask them, don't you think you deserve better than this? I mean, honestly, that's honestly why I have not gotten tomatoes to the face up here while I'm up here talking about my Donnie, right? Trump in a Black space. And initially they thought I was crazy until I was like, y'all don't think y'all deserve better than this? This all you deserve? This it? That and they like, well, no. I'm like, well, you got a choice. You must like it. You must like the fact that we're a sanctuary city and that they're busting illegal immigrants up here and giving them all type of housing and stamps and medical and everything while you out here struggling. You know, you
Mhm.
must like it. You must like the fact that they are not prosecuting crimes up here and people are getting out. You must like the fact that they are using the teachers union to push immigration in sanctuary city over educating your kids. You must like it. And then they'll say, no, no. All right, well, if you don't like it, then you got to put your gym shoes on, tie them up as tight as you can, and run from those Democrats as fast as you possibly can. Because if you don't, you like it, and that's what you feel you deserve. If you put it to people like that, like I said, speaking to their self esteem, to their self, not, the black community, not, our neighborhoods, but you want to make it very, very personal to them. Do you think that your grandma picked all that cotton in Mississippi, saved up those pennies, and came to Chicago for this? Is that what you want? Did you think that's what your mama wanted? No. Okay, well, guess what? The Democrats tricked your mama and they took her tax money and her property and they're giving it all to the illegals. How you feel about that? Well, no, I don't want to have nothing to do with them people. What you got for us? So then that leads me to the second part of this, which is why I said I don't really get involved with the party, because my show is so effective that Black Chicago was effectively done with the Democratic Party, right? But then when I call the state party, the city party, the county party, and I'm like, come on my show, come tell Black Chicago, come tell Black America what y'all got for us that will be able to help save us from the Democrats, because the Republican Party has since 1860, the Republican Party has been saving Black Chicago from the Democrats. Because remember, y'all, we had Camp Douglas up here. If you don't know what Camp Douglas is, it's the largest Civil War POW camp. It was a Union POW camp that doubled as a colored soldier training ground. So what they did was they shipped the worst of the worst of the worst of the Confederates to the south side of Chicago, and they let Black folks torture them. Okay, the slaves. It was going all around the country. You go to Chicago, you can whip your master. Then they had like little things you could look over. You have to pay a penny, and you could look over and literally watch your master get tortured to death. And the grave site for them, there are about 7,000 Confederate soldiers. It's the largest mass grave site in the Western Hemisphere, right here on the south side of Chicago. So I say all that to say, we've been asking the Republicans to please come save us from these Confederates since the 1860s. And we got to make sure that the Republican Party knows and understands that we're coming to get our party back. And if y'all not coming to get us no resources, get out the way. That's it. You don't get to hold the party hostage anymore. You don't get to be the spokesperson for the party. You don't get to determine what Black people feel is important, because this is our party and we're not asking for any more permission from the children of the immigrants. That's it.
Absolutely.
So once we do that, I'm telling you, it's for me. I think everything is rooted in the self-esteem of our people and what we tell our people and how well we are able to enchant them to come over and join our side. But we cannot wait on any Republican Party to come save us, because if they were in the saving business, we wouldn't be how we are right now.
Absolutely. God dang it. I got to hit the horn on that one, boy. You dropped it. You dropped big balls. It's about, as my dog Cat Williams says, about self-esteem, bitch. Can't nobody tell you how to feel about your damn self. Okay, that's just what it is. You know what you want out of yourself. So, yo, people, we coming. James, my dog, Black 007. How we gonna get in and make an en route, man, to the folk, man, as far as your eyes concerned, man? What are we gonna do? Because I think we've done a lot. I can say that I've seen, what's been happening your way as of recently, especially in these last 2-3 years of dealing with this here third Obama term, this shit show that is the Biden administration, Sleepy Joe, the resident. A lot of our family members, I've been seeing them, get you with the same thing they've been hitting me with, man. Hey, man, you was right, man. I should have listened, man.
Bringing the flowers.
Right. So, what do you think, man? What are we going to do for them to look and actually start, voting conservatively with their hearts and their minds, thinking about their futures truly, and not just, a quick fix.
All right, so the first two made really good points. Actually, some points I was going to make, but if I had to circumscribe to one point that, you know what I'm saying, that you know, that they probably haven't mentioned, I would definitely have to say, it's going to take more red pilling, man. And it's not, it's something, even though we've been doing a lot the 3-4 years, sadly to say, I know it seemed like a long time, but it's actually not enough. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because the programming is so deep, and it's been so deep for decades. Decades. On top of, like, my mama's like decades. Malcolm X tried to come tell him what was going on. And then you know, they took him out, and then boom, they got him right back into the fold. Decades. Through the Bush administration, through the Clinton administration, through the Bush administration again, through the Obama administration. They just, so this is, since I've been red pilling for the last 5-6 years, I would say this. I've had enough, and you already know, Pro, you already know stuff we used to go through in those threads. So I've had enough dialect and interchange and conversations with enough Black people to conclude that not only that the program is too deep, but our Black people are very, as much as we love them, Black people are very hard-headed and egotistical. And sometimes, even though you're saying the right thing, it's still a hard shell to get into. The programming is so deep, and then they know you're right about something. They're just like, oh, you can't be right, so I'm gonna talk over you, and I'm gonna say this about you, and I'm gonna drag you on this. Like they get off something. Like it got to the point. It was like, dang, like conversation is not even gonna fix the issue because it's starting even more drama. So I had to sit back and just like. So that's why now I just do my thing. I just put stuff up. Like I don't argue, I don't debate, I don't comment no more. I just put stuff up, and it's like if you grasp it, you grasp it. If you don't, you don't, because what I'm throwing out, they see it's aligning with reality. And that's why they slowly like, y'all, our voices, and I sad to say, it's not going to be enough. What's going to be enough is when the Great Awakening starts happening, when a lot of these industries start getting exposed. A lot of our people, even if we get them to start voting Republican, like it's like, or conservative, it's like a lot of our people don't understand, like politics is very black and white to them. They're like, oh, red, oh, you white, rich, and black, you just trying to live, and you know you struggling for the people, and you like middle class. Like no, like it's like I said, back to that mindset thing again. What I've learned from people mindset in the last 3 to 5 years is that it's going to take what the Patriots and the White Hats is doing right now. They're showing you, they're exposing what they're trying to do. They're exposing how they sending all your money to Ukraine. They're exposing how, you know, what happened with the vaccines. Like they expose, like look at the work that James O'Keefe and all these people are doing. If it wasn't because of people like them, we have to keep red pilling, even if it's just like 2 words, like to your next door neighbor. Hey man, like now the bankers, where you think you're gonna start banking? Like it's like whether it's financial, whether it's voting, whether it's about health. It's like, hey man, don't do that, don't take that. Listen, like do this, because a lot of people don't know how our industries and how our institutions are politicized. So like for instance, like my mom, she's been waking up to a lot of things I've been saying about the vaccine, the pandemic. She's totally waking up by the pandemic. But when it came to election time, she's like, yeah, you're right, all that stuff is fake. Yeah, they put them in there. Oh yeah, election time come. Oh yeah, I think it was like a midterm or something like that. Oh yeah, I gotta go vote for what's a big head dude name in Atlanta? What's the name? Pro, I can't get the name right now.
The one who's gone, the one who's out here.
The senator.
Are you talking about
Warnock? Yeah. My stepdad going to vote for Warnock and Stacey. And I'm just like, they don't understand. Like, when the stuff I've been telling them, they don't understand that. Oh yeah, these people are doing that, but that's the liberals. Like they don't understand how the communists think from China, and how it hits our big pharma, and how it hits our education system, and how it hits our CIAs, and how, like, I'm telling her all this. Yeah, mom, you see these train derailments? Oh yeah, you putting a lot of stuff, but she'll still walk to the polls and vote blue. She don't, like, we have to find a way to marry, like, hey, you see all what that's been doing to us? That's been liberals.
And I think it's hard because they
It's
put
very hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
they put those candidates. You know, if you pay attention, me and Leonard, I was telling them last night, they're grooming Jeffries to run him for president.
to
You
be the
know,
next, yeah.
they're running him for president. If you look at his mannerisms remind you of Obama's mannerisms.
Don't
You
trick the
know,
people. And
They-
that man, he's dangerous.
yeah, he's very dangerous. He's very dangerous. But it's so it's an additive that they say about us often that we need them to realize about their own that they attribute admiration for. But they always love this when it comes to us being conservative, being Republican, it's all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? They love to say that about us. But they should look at their own because it's their own that are leading them down a very dark path, and we're the ones who are waving the flag, and they agree with our flag waving and what we're saying. The problem is they just feel like they can't turn their back on them because they the brother folk, they the sister folk, they the ones who is blue is black, black and blue, black and proud,
Right.
and in some kind of way, it has to be broken, and it's by us just taking over and taking control. That's why I have my internet radio station where I showcase a lot of independent artists. The artists that you ever hear on any of my Friday night flights, they all get played on Rec Radio Savannah, right? I'm looking for a different outlet to provide the music that we want to be heard in our community. It's crazy that P. Ray works for WVON and they had their partnership with Motown, and I love Motown. I'm in the process right now of designing a entertainment venue and a recording studio, and my whole thing is built around Motown. Like, I loved how there was the Hitsville USA, and people, you never know who would be outside of Hitsville writing and humming and what hit could be created out there from whomever. I want that feeling. I want good music. I'm a band head. I want musicians playing again. I want, live studio sessions and they're recording and just making hits as they go along. Like, that's what I want to see again in our people, not this deaf coochie horde slut out just foolishness. Like, because although there's a time and a place for it, I don't like the fact that it is the dominating force when it comes to our music, to where it is the only thing that our children has access to, and it's the only thing that all of these outside people get when it comes to us in our music, and us in our culture, because that's really where a lot of these negative stereotypes come from. Just whatever, introduction or whatever education to us they could possibly have, which is normally just entertainment. So, it's about taking control and replacing it with what we want to see. So, that's what it is in a nutshell. Y'all, it is 10:30. I know P. Ray got to go handle her business. Bros, I done kept him from his wife long enough. She probably in there like, man, I'm a kill protocol, but I love her. She knows she got my love and respect always,
So it's not my wife. She at work. It's the 7-year-old. It's a daughter that keep looking at me.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Is that baby girl from the story last night?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I kind of figured when you said that. I kind of figured. Listen, I'm gonna let you get to your baby, man. I appreciate y'all most definitely for these Friday night flight conversation tonight, man. It was good. A lot of people are going to be well educated from it. I appreciate y'all for your time once again. For those of y'all who are on social media, if you want people to know about you on social media, how people can reach out to you, let them know. I'm going to start. I'm a gentleman. I have to do it, so I'm going to start to my left. Right there. Wait, camera. Which way? Yep, no, that way. There it is. Yep, I'm gonna reach over there. I'm gonna go with P. Ray. Let the people know, where they can find you and how to check out the show.
You can find Black Excellence Hour. Black Excellence Hour is a show for people with high self-esteem. Sundays at 5 p.m. on WVON 1690 AM Chicago. We are live on the Black Excellence Hour's Facebook page as well as the WVON's Facebook page. And you can also catch me on the iHeartRadio app. So you can go to iHeartRadio.com/WVON 1690 at on Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time, Chicago time. And we are turning the radio out. It is the funnest 53 minutes on the radio. It's the best 53 minutes on American Air, on the FCC airwaves. Black Excellence Hour is doing its job. So if you want to hear a good conservative show, it's like Hannity with a few ain'ts, can'ts, and finnas, because we are going to free our people from this plantation. Thank
That's
y'all.
it. That is it.
Like Black Excellence Hour on Facebook. Like Black Excellence Hour on Facebook.
I will link them in the video's description once I get this thing up. So be on the lookout for that, you guys. Also, my dog Leonard. What's up, brother?
Again, I want to thank everybody that was on tonight. I really appreciated all y'all different perspectives. It gave me a lot to think about, and I'm going to incorporate a lot of these ideas into my program. So I'll be listening to your show, P. Ray. I'll be following you, Black 007. You know, I'm already, you know, me and Protocol, we locked in already right here in Chatham County. But y'all know I'm not a big social media person. I'll say that. You know, like I got my Facebook page. It's just my name, Leonard Massey. If you guys want to, you know, go on Facebook, but I'm not that active because I don't like to be a part of the system. I'll be honest with you. But that's where you can reach me on Facebook. On Twitter, I got a Twitter account called Canceled R Us. You know, just for me to post little cryptic stuff because I think I'm already canceled before I even get started. But you know, if you guys want to send me an email address is leonardmasseyforyou@gmail.com. You know, that's the best way to reach me. But I just enjoyed the talk. You know, it's my first time ever being on a podcast. You know, I spoke to Ben last night and he was like, yeah, man, I'm doing a podcast tomorrow. I'm like, I started to send you an invite. I said, just go ahead and send it, man. I think I'll be okay. You know, but you guys are really sharp and, you know, iron sharpens iron. So I appreciate the discussion.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making the time.
Yes, sir.
James, what's up, bros? And then also, y'all, I do got a song that I'm going to play. I mean, y'all can listen to it in the background or whatever. You can catch the replay or whatever. But this is a great song to culminate, you know, what we have been saying and what we're going to do. So it will be played, and it features someone who was name dropped earlier too. So you guys will catch that. James, what's up, bros? Man, what you got to say on the way out the door, my guy?
Oh man, man, I appreciate you. First of all, man, congrats to your monstrous platform. I know it's gonna stir, you know what I'm saying, a lot of truth, you know, a lot of truth come, you know, a lot of I guess I would say fireworks and people, you know, coming against you, man. I already know you're a big force out there, man. Like you pretty much like Mr. I call you Mr. Cancel. You've been canceled, or not canceled, but like you like your platforms keep being deleted, just like mine.
Yes,
so it's like, you know what I'm saying. So you like Mr. Cancel like all day. We all cancel, man. That's the thing. We gotta uncancel ourselves and make our voices known, man. But really, man, just how you can find me, really. Honestly, I try to be just. All I got is Facebook. I try to be incognito. That's the whole Black 007 thing. Is just I'm trying to be just off the grid. Really, I kind of feel like Leonard. Like I don't really feel that social media is not a big. I used to have an attachment with it, but I no longer don't anymore. And I just told you I shut my website down because it was just too pricey. So right now, like literally, I got suspended from Twitter, IG, YouTube, Cocoscope, like. Everything I try to bring up, like it kept getting canceled. So like, so all I got is Facebook left, and I changed my whole profile to my platform. So the best way to find me is on Facebook. You just type James Channel or the James Channel. If you hashtag that, if you write it in James Channel, there's no way you're not gonna find me. My profile picture is all black. I'm incognito. The only thing I do is post stories and post truths on my timeline. There's no BS. It's straight to the point. A lot of people like it. A lot of people don't like it, but it doesn't matter because it's my channel. That's why it's called the James Channel. So that's where I'm at. Peace.
Absolutely, y'all. Well, hey, man, we getting ready to goddamn go land this plane. Friday night flights coming to a nice soft landing. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Appreciate P. Ray. Appreciate Leonard. Appreciate my brother James Black 007 on this, man. And we're gonna do a whole lot more of this. Do you feel me? Speaking of Do You Feel Me, man, I'm gonna go ahead and lead this song with y'all. It's my brother Smooth, aka Your Fave Musician, and the name of this track is called Do You Feel Me? So we're gonna leave out with this one, and I hope y'all enjoy it. And it is basically the culmination of everything we've been talking about, y'all. I'm your boy Protocol. These was my guests. Friday Night Flights. I'm gonna shut up and let my man talk.
This dead thing who have also dehumanized. The slave masters robbed us of everything that we could use to prove that we were a part of the human family, the black family. And this is the condition that our people in the West are in today.
It's time to take it all back. Do you feel me? Now we gotta go attack. Do you feel me? But the weapon is your mind. Do you feel me? Educate, get on the grind. Do you feel me? It's time to take it all back. Do you feel me? Now we gotta go attack. Do you feel me? But the weapon is your mind. Do you feel me? Educate, get on the grind. Do you feel me? Invest in black banks. Get together, make think tanks, educate, learn together, build it up and then pull the lever. Melanoid, I'm proud to be. Chains coming out, die to see. Malcolm X, he died for me, so my grandkids, I'll pay the fee. On my life, do you feel me? I'ma stress till they kill me. Some think that I'm crazy, trying to look out for these babies. I'ma stand up in my own way, looking out for my homemates. 5 fingers, we make a fist. Trust me, you gon' feel this.
And putting it at a level where it can be taken into the United Nations. And then all of the other independent nations on this earth can involve themselves in our struggle and support us.
It's time to take it all back. Do you feel me? Now we gotta go attack. Do you feel me? But the weapon is your mind. Do you feel me? Educate, get on the grind. Do you feel me? It's time to take it all back. Do you feel me? Now we gotta go attack. Do you feel me? But the weapon is your mind. Do you feel me? Educate, get on the grind. Do you feel me? We must apply pressure, keep it going, no letting up. Think about all our ancestors that gave their life. You ain't had enough? Oh, I see you just don't care. Well, that's okay, stay over there. Evolution, what's over here? Execute the plan with no fear. You feeling this? Say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ready for change? Say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wanna ride with us? Say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Worry about us? Say, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I believe he's beginning to feel that bleeding should be reciprocal. It should be done equally on both sides.
DJ Protocol.